Hello, Feyre, darling.
Oh my god.
I laid a little spell on them.
The scariest book you will ever read.
It's alive! It's alive!
There's a fucking ghost on the front lawn.
Do you guys know what smut is?
Put your hands on the headboard.
You have bewitched me, body, soul.
I need him biblically. I need him in a way that is concerning to feminism.
A spooky, gothic ghost story.
You'll come out or I'll break down the door!
Am I devious? Yes, I think I am.
So let's play a little game together. We will feast on your bones.
It's cool not growing old. I like being the eternal stud.
I'll be right back.
What are you? Werewolf.
I'm a vampire. Mine. I'm gonna correct that attitude right now.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
After dark.
Hello, friend. Hi.
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 How are
Hello.
you this Thursday?
Thursday. I'm today
It's Thursday Eve.
The last week or two has been kind of stressful. And I'm not really a person who gets stressed very easily. And the last couple weeks, I've just felt stressed and overwhelmed.
I feel like that all the time.
I'm it's so foreign. I'm not used to it.
I feel like that in my sleep. I have nothing but stress dreams every night.
But most of my stress is self-imposed, or just that dream that you have where you feel like you're just putting all of your energy into running and you're not moving at all. That is how I have felt. That is how I've felt for the last week or so, and I'm like, what do I have to show for that? Nothing. Look at this cute mug that Rose got me, and I thought that it was perfect to hold my water for tonight.
Oh, I love it.
It says "Death by TBR," and there's a skeleton, you guys, with the books. I'll post a picture.
That's the realest thing ever. If you took all of the books that I own, not just the books on my TBR, the books that I own that I haven't read, it would probably kill me if you put them all on top of me. The weight would be too much.
I have over 330 books in my house.
And it just keeps growing.
It just keeps growing. I do need to do a read and haul though. This year,
listen to what I did this year. Okay. One of my New Year's resolutions was that I can't buy any book that I don't plan on reading this year. So my whole rule is for myself, if somebody gives me a book, that's different. But any book that I purchase, I have to read this year. I have to prioritize it and read it instead of just putting it on the shelf.
That's a good buy.
Yeah. Well, I'm at 15. And it's barely February. And I've already purchased. And I have 5 that I'm buying tomorrow from Book of the Month. But some of them aren't for me, but still.
5? Yay. Well, cheers.
Cheers. But hi,
Cheers,
hello.
Hello. Hello, Bookmates. Welcome to our February book club.
Welcome to Bookmates After Dark, where we discuss all books that are smutty, wicked, spooky, and horrific.
We should tell everybody, maybe for the people who are here, what we're doing. Because it's going to get naughty.
It's going to get naughty. It's going to get dark.
It's going to get dark. We're going to take on some smutty, spicy stuff, some dark romance stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and also horror books. Anything that's kind of dark and twisted or smutty, we're going to be doing on here because not everybody wants to hear that.
But you do because you're here, so let's dig in.
Let's dig in. I'm so excited.
You're a dork.
All
I
right.
love you. Okay, so, and we are reading we read, I should say, Phantasma by Kaylie Smith?
Yes.
No. Yes?
Kaylie Smith.
By Kaylie Smith.
You have the book right in front of you.
Right, but the cover's not on it.
You
I
mean
always take the covers off because I'm paranoid of ruining it. Yeah, the jacket. I brought this for ambience.
Don't burn your nose.
It's a LED candle.
Oh. I was like, that's very close to your face.
I put up the candle, but like right up to my face. But it looks real, and it has even like melty wax on the side, so like it looks very realistic.
Yeah, I thought it was real. I thought you were literally about to put that flame in your nose. I was like, that's very close. Don't burn yourself.
Don't burn yourself.
Don't burn yourself.
Phantasma.
Phantasma. Do you want to do a spoiler alert?
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
We're going to be talking about Phantasma in every single one of its pages, probably, and all of its content, all of its spoilers, all of its adult content, because it's a smutty time. There's a lot of not safe for work things that we'll be talking about. So if that's not for you, or if you haven't read this book and you really want to read this book, pause it, go read it, come back and join us, or otherwise stick with us and see what all the fuss is about, and then you can feel like you've read it.
Yes. And also, we're going to talk about all the things. Anything triggering, anything sexual. We cuss. We don't care. That's what you're in for. You have been spoiler alerted.
Also, this book specifically delves into some mental health issues concerning OCD. So if that is also something that you find triggering, we'll be discussing aspects of that as well.
And if you don't like Ghost Wiener, this is not the podcast for you. After Dark.
After Dark. Or at least it will be.
Is it Ghost Wiener or Phantom Wiener? I like saying Ghost Wiener more.
I don't like wiener. I think that's a dumb word, and I don't like it.
Yeah, that's why I like it, because men's wieners are dumb. They're dumb. It makes them dumb, and it makes it less serious when you say wiener. It's just like I just don't want to go around saying the word cock, dick, and wiener is just dick. I like wiener. It makes you think about Oscar Mayer.
Does it?
Yeah, because that's what it is. It's just a wiener. It's just a wiener.
Every man is immediately emasculated.
That's my job. So you say you don't like the word wiener, but every time you say it or I say it or the word is mentioned,
I never say wiener. You say wiener.
But
I say
you said it just now.
Well, because I was repeating you.
Yeah, I know. But you still said it. But like every time it's mentioned, you have a giant smile on your face. The biggest.
I always have a giant smile on my face when I'm talking to you. Like that's not it.
That is not true. Anyways.
Did you like it? Did you like Phantasma?
I really liked it a lot. I had a lot of problems with the... Yes, I had some major problems at the end of the book, especially. But for most of the book, I really enjoyed myself. I enjoyed the atmosphere. I liked it. I liked the descriptions. I liked the setting. Thought it was fun. I didn't go into it expecting it to be super... I wasn't very serious about it when I opened it up. Yeah, I was just going into it. I had heard that it was like a fun, smutty read, and it was a different kind of universe for a fun, smutty read, and I enjoyed it. I did.
I love that.
Did you like it?
Sometimes.
Yeah?
I liked it sometimes.
Yeah.
like, you know, for the first like 100 pages, it really had me, and I was like, ooh, I like this. And then it started getting like I this book equally made me be like, yes, yes. And then like,
what is this?
That's so annoying. Like, or sometimes like literally just would like laugh out loud. Like there are multiple times I just like busted out laughing, like, okay. So like you guys, like, it was like DEFCON 5 today. Like, I literally finished the book today because I'm like, I really have to plow through and finish it because we're recording tonight. So like, it's fucking fresh. Like, I finished it this afternoon and then kind of scrambled to get my notes together. But so it's fresh. But I will say through the majority of it, though, I just I had a hard time connecting with it. Tandem did this with the audiobook quite a bit because of time and really didn't like the narrator. Did you listen to it at all?
I have not listened to the audiobook. I have only read this. Yeah.
Here's the thing. She's not a bad narrator. She's a good narrator, but she's almost too good to the point where like everything that she says is so over-emoted that it becomes so annoying. Like every sentence is just so over enunciated and breathy. Like that's exactly how she's like. It's so breathy and over the top, and oh, I just can't stand it.
No, I read it with my eyes, on the Kindle. So all my quotes, guys, all my references are Kindle edition. Just saying that up front. That's not always what I do, but for this book I did because I didn't have the physical copy with me.
Well, and I have my physical copy, and even when I listen, I always have it with me. So if I hear something, I can put my little tabs in and take my notes. And she just made me laugh sometimes. But and sometimes I wonder if because of the way that she read Ophelia made me really annoyed with her. I was mostly annoyed with. Is that honestly, just me, or is Ophelia just the most annoying?
Sometimes she is very annoying. I've got plenty of notes about Ophelia.
Giving Violet Sorrengail, and I want to punch her.
I'm not really sure. I didn't feel like she was a Violet, but I did feel like sometimes she was just a little over angsty.
I mean, and that just so much. Yeah. She's supposed to be almost mid-20s. Like, she's supposed to be like 23 years old, and she's so immature and juvenile.
It's very juvenile, like, and
like
mindset.
She's a fucking necromancer. She's been exposed to all this like hoodoo, dark New Orleans, seedy, magical underground, and she's just like, I've never done anything, and but then she's also like really bitchy to everyone for no reason.
Oh yeah, she is kind of a bitch. And let's get into it. I'm going to do a little synopsis for you. You ready?
I'm ready. And then we'll get into my drinking game.
Oh, can't wait to hear about that. All right, guys. Right here, we're going to do a little synopsis for those of you who haven't read the book, so you can kind of know where we're starting our conversation and know the setting that we're in. Of course, if you have read the book and it's been a while, this could be just a little bit of a refresher, which is always nice. The setting is New Orleans. What kind of time period are we in? I felt like 1800s-y. 1700s.
I had that question multiple times, like, what time period are we actually in? Because it flip-flops so much around.
It's it has a Victorian feel to it. Let's just say that. There's like but it's New Orleans, so...
like, electricity exists, like, they have carriages, but they also have, like, automobiles. So it's
like late 1800s, maybe, like early 1900s-ish. Yeah. We've got two main characters that we start out our book with, Ophelia Grimm, and she's our main protagonist. You spend the book in her head, from her point of view. She is a shy and sheltered necromancer who can speak with the dead. We start the book with her taking over her ancestral magic as her mother has died. She inherits it from her mother. It goes to the oldest daughter. She battles consistently with obsessive compulsive disorder, or OCD. And she also has a shadow voice, which is a dark entity that speaks to Ophelia inside of her mind. We have Genevieve. Genevieve Grimm, who is the loud and boisterous and socially active younger sister of Ophelia, who enters a deadly contest at a traveling mansion called Phantasma in order to attempt to solve the Grimm family's money issues. When Genevieve joins Phantasma, which is a haunted contest where the winner gets a wish, Ophelia is desperate to save her sister. Phantasma is a maze of twisting corridors and lavish ballrooms of demons and temptations. Ophelia will face 9 challenges, each more dangerous than the last. The trials in Phantasma are high-stakes competition for a devil's grant, a rare favor that allows the winner to wish for anything they want. So obviously, Genevieve has entered this universe to try and get enough money to save their home. They're completely bankrupt. They don't have any money, and they're going to lose their house. They're going to lose everything. And so Ophelia goes into Phantasma after her to try and save her, either by getting her out or staying in the competition herself or winning. And she's basically trying to find her sister. In the deep, dark, haunted mansion of Phantasma, there are only 2 rules. Stay alive and don't fall in love. Ophelia quickly realizes the first is far, far harder than it seems. Between the violent and mind-bending trials she must endure, powerful devils popping up around every corner, and her bloodthirsty competitors roaming the halls. So she's searching for her sister in this competition. As for the second rule, don't fall in love, an infuriatingly charming ghost named Blackwell, a sexy ghost phantom who can solidify when necessary. Wink, wink.
Heyo.
Heyo. Blackwell is trapped in the mansion and is drawn to Ophelia immediately. Blackwell vows to help Ophelia win the contest in exchange for some help of his own. With Blackwell's invaluable help, she might stand a fighting chance in the competition or possibly winning. Phantasma opens with Ophelia and Genevieve Grimm finding their mother Tessie's dead body in the foyer of Grimm Manor, their large house. Oh, right here, in the early 20th century. New Orleans. Tessie died during the night and Ophelia discovers her body the next morning. As the eldest Grimm sister, Ophelia must take on the mantle of her mother's legacy. She performs the necessary ritual and obtains her mother's necromancy magic, which allows her to see apparitions and other types of ghosts. She also takes the family locket off of her mother's neck and wears it, and when she taps it, it beats in time with her heart. And that is where we start our story.
Boom.
Boom.
Well done.
Yeah, kind of. It's a lot to explain. It's hard to kind of compact it because there's a lot going on in this story.
Yeah. Well, and also like if Ophelia hadn't have like found her mother in time, there's a very short window after someone dies to be able to swap the magic. So like if she hadn't have like happened to wake up in the night and just like feel something off, like she could have missed the window to get the magic.
That would have sucked. And Ophelia's been training her entire life to take over these powers.
Yeah, it's not just like her and her mom, like their entire like familial line of women have this gift. And her mom is like well known in New Orleans for like locals and tourists alike, schedule appointments with her like to bring back their family members or like have conversations with their dead family members. So like she's really Ophelia's mom Tessie is really well known for that, and not anymore. She's dead.
She's gone.
She's dead. So drinking game real quick. This is my drinking game for the book. Drink every time you hear the word core. It is it's like so much. And not even like in a sexual, like everything is in her core, like the first anyway, core, drink. So constantly through the book, I was like, drink, core. Oh, is your core bothering you? Drink. Okay, so Ophelia.
She's very angsty for her age.
In ways that don't make sense. Like, she's really upset about certain things, and then some other things she's like, yeah, well, deal with it.
I would say until she stumbled into the courtyard of Phantasma, I was pretty annoyed with Ophelia.
I was annoyed with her the whole book. She was so obnoxious to me. And also, I know that she was trying to, like, save Genevieve, but I feel like her whole reason for entering Phantasma was flimsy at best. Like, what was she gonna do? Like, what's your plan? And then when they explain, like, sort of how it works, like, she's like, well, I'll just go in there and get her out. But then they explain, like, no, but like once you go in, you can't get out. And also, like, you're not gonna be able to like fraternize with anyone while you're in there. It's like, what were you gonna do?
Well, yeah, you do, because they're in sectors, and there's different floors with more and more contestants.
Right, but you can't interact with anyone that's not in your group until you get past the 7th trial.
Right, but she didn't find that out until she was already in Phantasma. And you can leave Phantasma, you just have to say, I surrender to Phantasma.
Right, well, that's if you are able to say that before you die. But
well,
I'm just saying,
but
like,
she was thinking, I'll find my sister and we'll surrender to Phantasma and leave. That's what she wanted to do.
When she goes, she doesn't even ask basic questions. Like, my very first note of the whole book, I would not be entering Phantasma without basic questions like, what do you get if you win, etc. Like, she
you get
like,
a devil's I said what you get.
Right, but she didn't know that going into it. And so when they're like, are you sure you want to do this? Because it's like quite dangerous and we can't guarantee your safety. And basically the house is going to try to kill you. She's like, yeah.
But
like,
it's
she doesn't
common
ask any
knowledge that
questions.
the person who wins Phantasma gets a devil's grant, but the odds of you winning
maybe
Phantasma...
common to everyone but Ophelia. She didn't know. And even like, I guess us the reader going into it, like, we didn't know that.
No.
And like, so I was like, so
I
when I
feel
read
like
that,
it
I was
was
like,
wasn't it on that flyer though? Didn't they have like, she found that flyer and she was like, oh shit, she went and entered Phantasma to get the devil's grant. She found the flyer for Phantasma in Genevieve's closet with...
Maybe I just
no,
forgot. I don't know.
Did.
But like, I was just it's just like,
you're like, I just don't care. I don't care. No, but like, I even thought Genevieve was pretty annoying.
They both were, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I didn't get their dynamic as sisters because they seemed really snipey with each other. And for Ophelia's through the whole book, like, all I care about is my sister, my sister, my sister. But then, like, in the beginning,
she's
like,
really
their mother is dead, and
to her sister,
and she's mean to her. And she's like, "Oh my god, shut up, Genevieve! Like, pull it together." And she's like, "But our mom is dead." And she's like, "Yeah, well,
yeah,
we've got shit to do, you know." Like, it's like she's really mean to Genevieve. And then Genevieve is kind of blasé about certain things, and I don't know. And I don't know, she's just like always wanting to go be somewhere else. I don't know. I just didn't get their dynamic.
I thought that, well, that was part of my problem with the beginning, was that I thought that it was messy. I thought that the character development was messy. And it got on my nerves. Honestly. Yeah, it got on my nerves a little bit at the beginning. But once I got into like the Gothic, like Victorian setting, when they get into Phantasma, I had a lot more fun with it. That's when I started being like, okay, I like this. And of course, I had some problems with the ending, and we'll get into that later. I have some problems.
Well, I like the first bit a little bit more because like when she first gets in there and she's like gets in her room and she immediately finds that secret passageway in her room behind the bookshelf. And then there's like that monster in there. And at first I was thinking, oh, it's all in her head because of the voice. But then when it like actually hurt her, I was like, ooh, okay, like high stakes. Like,
yeah,
yes. And then it quickly got into like, danger, everyone's fine, moving on. Like, it just felt so rushed.
Like, I liked that part of it. I think that honestly, the concept is so great. She could have really taken her time a little bit more with the challenges.
Yes. And I was
But
really frustrated when because every time a new challenge started and then like they started explaining the rules and then like they got in there, I was like, ooh, here we go. And then it's like, and solved next. Everything's fine. I was like, well, dang it. Like that.
well, not
Really
for
was.
everybody.
Well,
So one thing I really liked about this book that gave me like a really creepy vibe that from the very beginning, and I was like, ooh, this is like a creepy vibe. The shadow voice idea is really cool. I actually thought about that when I was reading When the Moon Hatched and Kaylis in the thing. But
yeah.
that aside, but the shadow voice, the idea that you have like this voice that is just saying negative things to you, that's an actual tangible voice.
She finds out about her father and stuff later. He was like, was he like me? Like, and it really delves into this like mental health aspect of like for people who really suffer with those types of mental health issues, like that's how it is for them. So the mental health representation of the shadow voice, the author says it herself because that whole shadow voice concept was literally based on her experience with OCD, and that's she's like there's a big misconception that OCD just means that you're neat and tidy, but for me and a lot of other people, it's a lot more intense and dark than that. With those intrusive thoughts but like in the book it's just like a more tangible version of that. My second note of the book is I think the voice is not just something in her head but a haunting of sorts, and Phantasma is giving it life. So I did think that too, that there was more to it. And then in the end when it didn't, because especially towards the end where she was like, okay, I've had these like compulsions before but now it's like actively telling me to like hurt myself or rooting for my demise. So like I was thinking that, and then once we find out
they
everything we do,
exaggerate your fears. Because Phantasma exaggerates things like that.
and
Like,
you have to submit your worst fear to the house, and then they use your worst fears against you by making them real.
right.
And by the time we get to the end and we find out some things, I was thinking that it was like another sabotage of her because of the soul connections, and that was maybe Blackwell's demon father was the voice. That's what I was thinking that it was going to go.
I was just thinking it was attached to Ophelia in some way that we would find out later. Like the reason she has the shadow voice had something to do with her parents.
Yeah,
Like
I thought that, I knew that it was like a kind of a metaphor for mental health and everything like that. But I did think for like the sake of the book and the plot that was going to turn into be something, especially when the house manifests it like in a very real way for her. I was like, okay, here it goes. And then I really did think that the voice was going to be a haunting of some kind. And then when she was finished with Phantasma, that it would like expel it.
What happens? You know what? At the end, did they say anything about the shadow voice?
No, it just is the shadow voice, and then she basically is like,
does she ever say, like, "Oh, I don't hear it anymore"?
No, yeah, she says something in the epilogue like, "Oh, like the voice still tells me stuff and whatever, but I've just gotten really good at ignoring it, and it's gotten quieter because Blackwell is with me." Also, one of the things I wrote down early on, I was like, "Oh my god, another Poe reference. The cat's name is Poe."
I love the cat thing. It's like I also feel like her mom kept a lot of things from her.
And also, Tessy was not a good mom to her.
Like terrible mother. Ophelia is sheltered. Page 23. Ophelia couldn't help but wonder if she was wildly unprepared to assimilate into normal society without their mother as her guide. Death she was familiar with. Living would be the real challenge. So Ophelia never leaves her house. Ophelia never does anything but prepare to be a necromancer. That's what she spends all day, every day doing. And that's what her mother has kind of laid out for her until she dies. And then she's like, I don't know how to talk to anyone. Like a robot. Like they go outside and she's like terrified of everything and everyone because she's had this sheltered existence.
Yeah.
And her sister, not so much.
I felt with Ophelia that she didn't know how to convey her character very well. Because, like, on the one hand, like you're saying, she's so sheltered and like, I don't know how anything works because I've basically never left the house. and then and then she's also trying to make Ophelia seem like a badass who like, oh my god, Genevieve, like, get it together, like, we have things to do and you don't understand how the world works. So it's like you can't have both at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and her sister Genevieve wasn't treated that way by their mother. She went out, she made friends, she had a social life, a very active one.
Because the magic always passes to the eldest kid, so it's like she never even bothered with
So what happens if something happens to Ophelia? Like, Genevieve has no fucking clue what to do. She's just
yeah, like, right? Like, what if?
Or did they just lose?
Yeah, like, you'll just.
Did they just lose their ancestral magic?
Yeah, they would just lose it. Like, you have a backup daughter, and it's the 1800s. You're not gonna like give her lessons too.
See, that's another thing too. I thought the shadow voice was connected to the ancestral magic.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, okay, Ophelia has the shadow voice because she's the next necromancer. It's kind of like it ties you to darkness.
Because I also thought that it would be tied to the locket too, because once the magic passes, that she basically is like, you have to wear this locket and you can literally never take it off, otherwise you'll die, because your life force, like your heart, is literally tethered to this locket. So when her mom dies and they're doing the ritual, the magic ritual, she has to take the necklace off of her mom and put it on her, and when that happens, her heart beats in time with the locket. And there's like a trial where like someone accidentally like rips the necklace off of her and it's starting to kill her because like she has to wear the necklace to stay alive. And so I also thought that it would be tied to that of some, like, in some way.
You know, what was interesting to me is that their mom, Tessie is her name. I'm pretty sure we said it before, but her mom is also very transparent about real problems that the family's having with Genevieve, but not Ophelia.
Right? Like, what is that?
That's super weird to me. It's like, oh, well, Ophelia's got enough to worry about because she's going to be the next necromancer and she has all this training. So I'm going to tell you all the real world problems we're having.
That made no sense. Like we've been like confidants and like I share everything with you and I'm teaching you everything of how to run the business, how to run our lives. And the most important aspect of that, she just is like, oh, well, she can't handle it because...
Oh, Genevieve, by the way, I've written like 20 forged checks and we're going to lose the house. But don't tell Ophi.
Right? Oh, and like we find out later that she had like also essentially like gone into debt to secure a second residence just in case their father found them and they might have to move. Like, nothing was explained very well about any of that backstory and like why
the father stuff was confusing.
Like, okay, like you had a bad breakup, but like why are you being so intense about it? Like, I don't we're getting ahead.
I know. Okay, here's a description of the ghosts, different ghosts that Ophelia can interact with. Page 39, again, Kindle edition. For anybody who's looking up, all my notes are Kindle. Her mother classified ghosts on the other side into 4 categories: ghouls, apparitions, poltergeists, and phantoms. As the list went on, the abilities of these beings became stronger and more predictable. Ophelia knew that any being who was slightly transparent was just an ordinary apparition, a deceased soul that had yet to cross over. All the other beings were more solid, possessing the ability to change their appearances in various ways, unlike regular apparitions, who could only appear as they did when they were laid to rest. Still, all should be visible to her, at least. And the ghouls are like, they're like ghosts they've been ghosts for so long that they can't remember anything from their past lives, and they become like basically
zombies.
haunts. They call it haunts, And those are the ghosts that like haunt people with terrifying displays or try to attack people. And those are called ghouls. And that's when you've been a ghost for so long that it basically makes you go insane. Yeah. And you just turn into like a mindless ghost that just haunts everything.
You're being haunted.
You are being haunted by a ghoul.
Okay. So there was this one part that made me laugh. It reminded me of Loki in one of the Avenger movies. On page 87, I started laughing because Ophelia had just like accidentally summoned the Whispering Gate, which sounds sexual, but it's actually just like
does it?
It just it reminded me of that movie Role Models. Have you seen that?
Oh, I love Role Models.
It's so good. He's like, tell her you miss her whispering eye. Tell her you miss her whispering eye. And then he does that. He's
tell
like,
him good morrow.
Oh my God, and he's like, oh my God, it means vagina. It means vagina. I was like, oh, her whispering eye, the whispering eye. Anyway, she summons it and she falls into darkness and she says on page 87, Ophelia couldn't tell if she had been falling for minutes or hours. There was not a single point of light around her, only whispers. And I just thought of that scene where like Loki comes back through a portal and lands on the floor and he's like, ugh, I have been falling for 30 minutes.
Oh shit. I loved it. There's this part at the beginning, guys, where Ophelia stumbles into the court, like the Phantasma's yard.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
which nobody is supposed to be able to get past the wards and the thresholds type things.
And she like stumbles into Phantasma's yard. Would it really be called a yard? What? I feel like that's the wrong word.
The
lawn.
Property?
The property.
The lawn.
She stumbles onto the property on accident and has an interaction with a ghost that we find out later is the mysterious and the gorgeous phantom Blackwell. And she doesn't know who it is because it's invisible. But she's talking to it because she's a necromancer. She can talk to ghosts and phantoms. And I really loved that scene. And she doesn't know that she's on the lawn of Phantasma yet.
Yeah, because of the fog. It's so foggy.
So dense, the fog. And but I loved that whole scene.
Yeah, that was good. And also like she's also getting used to her new powers because she's only had her new necromancy powers for 5 minutes and she hears something else first and she's like, do you want to play with me? And she's like, no. And I thought during that scene too, just sidebar, I thought like when that happened, that for someone who has been trained to be a necromancer her whole life, she doesn't do it very well. Every time she sees something, she's like, ah!
Well, I mean, I feel like nothing could ever prepare you for seeing all the ghosts.
Right, but she knows that it's gonna be there. But like, even like the voice, like, oh my gosh, I've been stuck here forever. Like, will you talk to me? Will you play? She's like, no, I got my own shit to do. Like, tough shit, you're a ghost. Like she's so like callous in some ways, but then like so overly dramatic and like sensitive in others. Like she's all over the place.
I really loved Blackwell in this book. And you kind of get a little taste. I don't know. He's got an interesting sense of humor. I think that he's kind of funny sometimes. But there's this part. I have a quote from the courtyard. And this is like, so Blackwell comes into the courtyard and she can't see him. And he scares away the other ghost. Or whatever, and he just starts talking to her, and he just sounds so mysterious, like, hello, and he calls her Angel. That's like his little nickname for her. She's like, I'm not scared of you. And he as the ghost like comes up right by her ear and is like, boo, boo. My first thought was like, oh my god, that's so funny. If I was a ghost, that's what I would do. I'd like go right up to people's ears and I'd be like, boo. And I just thought it was really like witty and charming, and I was like, ha ha. I don't know who that is, but I have a feeling that's our guy. That's what I thought when I read that. My first thought was, oh, this is our guy, and I love him already. He's cheeky.
For sure.
He's cheeky.
Cheeky little blighter. I would do the same thing, but I would wait until someone was like about to take a sip of their hot coffee and then be like, boo, and then be like, oh.
And also, how hot is Blackwell? And he wears a green fucking suit. Okay. He wears a green suit. Cute.
I wish that...
Not only any green, Viridian.
Viridian green.
Viridian green. Which, if you didn't know, if you're thinking in your head, what color is Viridian green?
Lena, what by any chance is the color?
Viridian. And
Viridian green
is the shade of green that is used in the film Beetlejuice.
Okay.
Like, it's used in the film Beetlejuice. You know that green and purple, black and white look in Beetlejuice? It's commonly used in that movie. But it's a very pretty shade of green. It's like, it's almost a teal, but a little more green than that. Not quite as blue. It's a pretty shade of green. And that's the color suit he wears. And I was like, I like green. And I like cats. And I like black wool.
I wish that...
Oh, black wool.
Black wool. I wish that I felt anything about any character in the book. Because, like, nobody was, like... I just felt like I couldn't connect to anybody. I had a really hard time connecting with the characters. Like, I liked Blackwell at first, and then, like, by the, like, mid to, like, 75% mark, like, I was just kind of annoyed with everybody at that point. And I was just kind of like, ugh. It's just like wash, rinse, repeat. Like, we're not getting anywhere. And then it's like, there's only one thing worse than the third act breakup, and that's, like, first act, second and a half act, third and a half act break. Like, they're on again, off again. Like, I need space. No, I don't. Get inside me. I need space. Don't come near me. Like, I don't know. I was just, like, so annoyed. Also, I had a really hard time taking the name Blackwell seriously in the throes of Pash. Oh, I have a note for that.
Oh, Blackwell.
Sorry.
I thought it was very proper sounding. I was like, oh, this sounds appropriate for him.
Blackwell sounds like a last name. Like, that is not a first name. We're going to
find out it is, really isn't it?
And it is. So I called that early on.
Well, that's what I figured, though. It was just like, you know, but that was more common back then, wasn't it?
Page 304. I wrote down, I cannot... I said, I'm sorry, but I can't take the name Blackwell seriously in the throes of ecstasy.
Oh, Blackwell.
Are you ready? Are you ready? This is going to be
funny. No, I'm not ready. I already feel like it's a mess.
A moan slipped from her lips as she threw her head back in ecstasy.
I can't even look at you. Oh. Christ.
Using her purchase on the headboard to lift herself up and down on his fingers, desperately needing more friction. Blackwell, she whimpered as she slammed down on his head harder and harder. Good girl. Use me to fuck yourself, he praised, his voice deepening with faster. Okay.
Oh my god, look how red my face is. Because you just read my face is so red. Oh my god, I'm like so embarrassed for you. I'm so embarrassed.
After dark. For me? Should I not have read? That's a line from the book.
I'm just glad that wasn't me who did that.
It needed to be said, okay?
Oh my god. Oh, Blackwell.
So bad.
I just thought, oh, Blackwell.
It's not a hot name. You know, Blackwell. The Blackwell Stoppers.
It's Blackwell. But like the whole time I was like, every time he would do something, I'd be like, ha ha ha, oh, Blackwell. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, Mom, that you had to hear that, but at this point, you've read it, so you know it's there.
Oh my god.
Also, I'm sorry, I do.
Oh my god, did you get that at one point he told her to put her hands on the headboard? And I was like,
I literally just read it.
I know, but I was like, okay, Cassian, calm down. You can't copy that line is forever Cassian's.
Right.
That is Cassian's line.
You know, here's an interesting tidbit. When I was looking up 1-stars, I have not read Caraval, but a lot of people in the comments were like, fuck off, this is a literal copy-paste job of Caraval. Literal.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read those. I
haven't either. And they're like, basically the only difference is like, it's demons, ghouls, and devils versus whatever it is in Caraval, but it's like the same concept, like the trials, the competition, the concept of Phantasma. It's like,
I feel like that is a very common theme in fantasy sometimes, though. The trials.
It's like
the trials, the games, it's like or whatever.
Paranormal Hunger Games with Ghost Dick was this book.
You know what other book does this? It's pretty well done, but Powerless is like that. It's like a competition.
I haven't read that one yet.
Yeah, it's like a Hunger Games. I feel like it all feels like Hunger Games to me. If I'm being honest. It all feels derivative of this like competition. I mean,
but here's where it got really disappointed for me. I'm like, okay, you're having a competition in the trials and stuff, but like separate from like Hunger Games where it's like you don't have a choice to be involved, like people choose to go to Phantasma. Like that's their choice to enter, like knowing what the stakes are.
Well, a lot of the people in the Hunger Games though volunteer.
Only like the top like couple.
I volunteer.
Like, capital. I volunteer as tribute. Only, but like the capital when they're like trained their whole lives for it, because it's like, but all the other districts are like forced to, anyway. I just like with the concept is like dark gothic is this, and like the trials are based off of the 9 circles of hell. I just expected something more gritty, and every time a trial happened I would get so excited, and then like a page later they were done and they were walking out like, well, that was easy.
I feel like most of them were not easy. But
well,
anyway,
they were for her.
In the courtyard, hold on.
Oh,
we found out some crucial parts, some crucial pieces of information that you're going to need for the rest of the story when she stumbles into the lawn of Phantasma. And one of the things is that Blackwell recognizes her in some way. So he says to her, "You look so familiar."
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there's obviously something there that we're kind of waiting to figure out throughout the rest of the book. You're like, okay, well, what's that about? Like, why does he kind of recognize her? And at first I thought, is it because he's seen Genevieve? But then they look very different. You know, they're described as looking very different. Another is that Blackwell loses his memories over time in Phantasma. So they have this interaction on the lawn in the courtyard that he doesn't remember later on when she enters Phantasma, because he forgets about past trials. It's just part of the magic of Phantasma. It makes him forget about what's happened previously. And also he tells her something that he would need from her, because she says, you know, my job is to help ghosts. Is there something I can help you with? And he's like, you can help me get free. And he tells her something in a moment of clarity that he can't even remember later that is the key to him being set free from Phantasma because he is trapped there. Because a lot of the people and demons that are working in Phantasma on these trials, they're never allowed to leave. They're stuck there. And they lose memories over time, or at least he does. Do they all lose memories?
No, he does, because that's also part of his specific punishment, which we find out later.
Page 44, Blackwell tells Ophelia, when she's on the lawn, "A heart and a key would set me free, but you should hope we do not meet again, Angel, because I'm going to do you with my ghost wainer."
How about okay, I wrote down page 95. Aha! Blood bargain. There it is. LOL. And I quote page 95. "But I can make sure you survive long enough to reach the last 2 levels, and then you'll be able to learn your sister's fate. All I need from you is a blood bargain." A blood bargain? A wild giggle escaped her throat at the ludicrous idea. All I need... He's like being all serious, like, all I need is a blood bargain. She's like, okay.
What was the description again? That wasn't right.
Yeah, a wild giggle escaped her throat at the ludicrous idea.
Wild? It has to be wild.
Giggle.
Wild
giggle.
That makes me think of that one song. Tiptoe through the window. A wild giggle.
We should insert that right there.
It's dead.
Because like Blackwell is explaining to Ophelia why it's a big deal for him to have been able to tell her that, like when they're in the lawn and he tells her that, and then she mentions it in passing and he's like, "I'm sorry, what the fuck you just say that all again," because she thinks that he doesn't remember her because like he's being facetious, or like, "Oh, you have so many ghost lovers, like I'm so unmemorable to you," and he's like, no, I need you to, like, if I said something to you, page 100, he says, "The glint in his eyes became slightly wild. The big deal is that I have been trapped here for an amount of time I cannot even remember because of the aforementioned holes in my memory, and I will continue to be stuck eternally unless I find whatever tether or anchor is keeping me bound to this place and figure out how to free myself. And somehow you managed to catch me in a moment of clarity, a moment already erased from my mind, where I supposedly told you exactly what I needed to find in order to untether me. You have no idea how extraordinarily bizarre this is."
A heart and a key would set me free. Actually, the writing, the descriptions of Phantasma, of the world building of what you're seeing in your head was very well done. I could really see the rooms, the clothing, like just the way that everything is described. It was very easy for me to picture this like dark, gothic place, but also very beautiful and bright, red and black and lace, and I don't know, it's just very...
I definitely liked the idea and vibe of the book more than I actually enjoyed the actual book. Because like I love all of that, like that gothic dark whatever. I just I don't know. Also, one of the next notes I have is Cade equals Jack Barlow. Hope she poisons him or kills him for realsies.
And she does. She kills him. Which also, she's amazing at killing people. Even though
And
she's never met anyone. Even though she's never actually fought anyone. She
Well, he
kills
gives
this
her, like,
guy.
magic lessons for, like, a day. And she's like, I'm good at everything now.
Because we find out in the book that Blackwell, the reason that he recognizes Ophelia is because he has actually met her father and mother, who previously went to Phantasma before they had her.
And she was conceived in Phantasma because her parents broke the cardinal rule and fell in love within Phantasma.
Yes, which is not allowed. And if you do it, you will
they're
be cursed. Yes, if you fall in love in Phantasma, you will be cursed. To not be
And the
able to
reason
be...
for that...
We don't find out till the end, but it's Blackwell's fault.
It's Blackwell's fault. But even, like, before the end, they find out, like, whoever the creator is being punished and is stuck in Phantasma because he fell in love with a mortal, and his father found out because, like, he was the prince of devils, and he fell in love with a mortal, and his father found out and basically killed his lover and then tied him to Phantasma as a punishment. So we do find that
Not
out.
only tied him to Phantasma, created Phantasma.
Created Phantasma.
As
and that's
a punishment for his son, who is Blackwell.
Yeah,
and we don't...
Okay.
Well, let's not talk about the end yet, because I have a lot of problems with the end, and that's super, super far away.
Okay.
I have a couple of notes before we get into Phantasma. Page 45. The road that led out of the inner city was lined with live oak and pecan trees. And I didn't know pecans grew on trees. So I was like, that's notable.
You learn something new every day. One of my next notes was, and some thought Feyre had too much help in the trials. What very thick plot armor you have, Ophelia. Because, like, obviously she makes the deal, and, like, a lot of them make deals with devils as they go, but, like, if Blackwell was not holding her hand through, like, almost everyone, like... Also, I felt like there was not a lot of context for a lot of the trials. Like, they get that, like, little clue or whatever, and everyone else is, like, immediately, like, doing things and, like, beating the trials, and she's like, and Blackwell's like, okay, so here's what this trial is about. This is what you have to do. And I'm like, how would anybody glean that context from what they're seeing? Like, I feel like some of these things are being explained very well. Okay, the chess challenge, for example. It feels like the rules of these trials are so vague, and without Blackwell there explaining everything to her, like, how would she know any of those things? Like, how do the contestants have any context for anything happening in this trial?
Well, they make deals with the devils.
Right, but only when they're about to die, but everybody seems to know what the rules are except for Ophelia, and Blackwell's, like, explaining everything to her. Like,
so
okay,
what is the deal... What exactly was the deal that she made with Blackwell?
That she, like, by the time Phantasma was finished, that she would find the heart and the key for him, because she was able to search places in Phantasma and find places, because he can only, like, go places that he's already been before.
Right. So he's looking for the heart and the key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in exchange, he gets, if she fails, then she gets 10 years of her lifespan transferred to him.
Which is a lot.
Which is a lot. And right when I heard that, I wrote down, get a clue, Ophi. Phantasma is probably the reason your otherwise healthy mother who was young keeled over and died randomly, and then Phantasma shows up a couple days later. She probably made a bargain or something that cost years of her life. A decade, perhaps? Or something having to do with Phantasma. So I thought that early on, that her mother's death was connected to Phantasma.
Well, actually, her father... now, Blackwell has been picking contestants to attempt to help him escape Phantasma every year. When it comes... Well, is it every year they just go town to town?
It's not even every year. It's like...
Yeah.
they do the trial, they go to the next town and do it all over again. So it's just
it's like a traveling
over and over.
Yeah.
And
like
every week, practically.
In one of the past trials, he met her mother and her father, but he's sponsoring Ophelia in the trial, her father, who was a specter. And a specter is a very rare type of
magical being
in this world.
It's not very well explained what a specter is.
But because of her connection with her father, who was a specter, Ophelia has more powers than just necromancy. She can turn herself invisible. Because specters can walk through walls, and they're kind of like, they have powers that manifest like a ghost, but they're not ghosts.
Right. Yeah. And she only realizes that she has this power when like someone is trying to kill her and something of her goes invisible and they're like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like
she's like, I don't know, I didn't do it.
Because Blackwell trains her because, he's a phantom. But he trains her like, if someone's getting ready to stab her, she can make her area that's about to be stabbed basically a non-corporal part of her body. So like the knife will just go right through her as opposed to like into her skin.
Yeah.
So she can like make herself transparent at will, basically. And also Blackwell has some interesting powers when he helps her with the challenges. He can go in and out of the arenas and physically help her. He's got some interesting powers as a phantom. Page 87, lifting a hand, he gave a sharp snap of his fingers, and it all disappeared. The ghoul, the blood, the scratches, everything cleared in less than a second. She swallowed. Where did it go? Somewhere on the other side. I can move things in and out of this corporeal plane. But he can move. There's an other side. And that was another thing, too, that never really got flushed out. Like, at one point, Ophelia opens the door, because this is like a crazy house. Imagine like a fun house at a carnival. And that's like the inside of this place. Like doors open to dead ends.
But it can actually kill you. And the things that it conjures are real. Like
and it can manifest those things called ghouls. It manifests like haunts in your very own room. Where like you'll just be sitting there and all of a sudden like a homicidal ghost will come out of the bathroom and literally try to kill you. And they can actually physically harm you.
Yeah, like it's not just, and but I feel like that first scene with Ophelia in the bookcase tunnel, where it actually hurt her, that was like the highest.
We'll talk about that scene, like what happens there.
Okay, so in the very beginning, right when she gets into Phantasma, she's led to her room, and she's kind of like just looking in her room and just kind of exploring a little bit, and she sees a bookcase, and she just kind of grabs her book at random and pulls it out, and it happens to trick the door, and she's like, ooh, secret tunnel, and immediately I was like, don't go in there right now. And like, you're not gonna
she's like I'm going.
You're not gonna bring a candle or any sort of like preparation.
A candle. Put the candle back.
Like, I was like, at least like go in prepared. Like, you're just gonna go in a random like dark tunnel by yourself in this like creepy haunted mansion that's designed to kill you, idiot. And so she goes in there.
But like her locket tells her to do things too, doesn't it?
Right. So why did it tell her to go in there when like there was nothing in there?
Yeah.
But like she could have just at least been prepared, and then all of a sudden there was like this like growl. And these like eyes popped out, and the voice is also telling her like, oh, this is going to kill you. This is going to kill you. And she thinks like, no, you're just in my mind or whatever. And this is all in my mind. And then it like actually attacks her and like claws up her arm. And she's like, oh shit. Like,
and it's like a wolf or something.
Yeah. And somehow she like gets back into the room and closes the bookshelf or whatever. But then like nothing else ever happens to her.
Was that Sinclair? There's a demon in this world called Sinclair. who turns into a wolf. So I immediately, when I found out, or
he turns into a wolf.
He can turn into a wolf.
Does he? I feel like I missed that.
Yeah, because like the demons, demons run the show here, and a lot of them have different abilities, powers, dark. I don't know. I thought
I must have just like missed that. Maybe like when I was listening, something just because I will say that blink and you miss some things with this book. Like there was a couple times where I was listening to it and I was like, wait a second, like that can't be right because of X, Y, Z and Z and this and that. And then I like went and opened the book and like it's like literally one sentence that explains all of it and then it just like moves on immediately and I was like, oh. Because I was getting I got like a little like, hey now plot hole where I think it's the first or second trial where like all of their senses are gone. And then all of a sudden she's yelling and talking to one of the other guys. And I'm like, wait, you just said that nobody can hear each other. How are they talking to each other now? And there was like this like one very brief sentence, like, all my senses came crashing back. And then it was just like all of a sudden a different scenario within the trial and it threw me off.
Okay, no, but like Rowington, who is that?
Rowington?
Yeah.
There's no one named Rowington. I would have marked that for
Did she change the name? Okay, no, seriously. I want you to type. This is on Kaylie Smith's webpage.
What?
Rowington. What the fuck? Shadow Wraith. Maybe
Rowington?
Maybe this is a different book of hers.
There's no way. There's no way.
Whoa.
I'm Googling. I said Phantasma book. Can Sinclair turn into a wolf?
Oh my god.
There's nothing on the internet.
There is also Phantasma is the name of a Scooby-Doo school in some movie. And so like every time I would like Google Phantasma or like pictures for Phantasma, all this like Scooby-Doo shit would come up. And also I looked up the word ghoul in Phantasma. And I got all these pictures of ghouls from Phantasma and Scooby-Doo. Like there's literal ghouls. I don't know.
Okay. I went down to like a tiny rabbit hole when I was doing 1 stars and everybody in the comments, like everybody told me to read this book because they said it was like giving Danny Phantom. And I'm like, who's Danny Phantom?
Oh my god, he's a cartoon.
He's a cartoon character. And I was like, that just got
no.
gross. No.
I would say that.
But why did you read like, oh, there's a smutty version of Danny Phantom I must read immediately? Like, what? What is you? Okay.
This is very frustrating. I feel like this is the jackalope all over again. Shut up. Oh my god. Why am I so confused this episode? It has to be the book. It's not my fault.
It's not your fault.
Don't you be laughing at me so hard, bro.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm just remembering that story and how convinced you were.
There's a lot of lore on the jackalope. It's not okay. The jackalope thing, like for real, it's not that far out of the spectrum of reality for a rabbit to have little horns. Like it could happen. It's not like a mermaid.
Oh my god. You make me laugh. I love you.
I think what
Anyway.
sucked so much about that was like when I was realizing it, I was like, wow. Like I'm 100% wrong. I thought this was a real thing. I've just seen so many deers with horns. Rabbits with horns on them. And I was like, oh. These rabbits are crazy scary. I'm glad we don't live near those. It must be a desert rabbit.
Oh, you're my favorite.
I didn't realize it was a fucking taxidermy thing. Stop. Okay. Okay, so the first hell, the first trial, the first level is limbo. This is a clue that they're given when they go into limbo, the first trial. In deepening light, where senses fade, a labyrinth vast, a daunting maze. No sight, no sound, no touch to guide. Navigate true or be crushed inside. Beware the beast within the heart and find the door back to start. Because they're always given a clue. If you can remember any of that fucking shit, then...
Right? They're not allowed to write it down. If they try, it like disappears on their notepad.
Or they have a notepad.
Yeah.
That's the first hell, is limbo. The first trial.
Also, that was like so giving Harry Potter with the thing guarding the door.
Oh my gosh. I thought that when the walls started to move, because in a couple of the trials, like the corridor walls moved, I'm like, oh, like Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Literally wrote that note 3 different times.
Yeah, there's a lot of those moments, like the 3-headed dog guarding the literal trapdoor that they need to get out of that place. And the second that it's touched, like it'll stay asleep as long as the thing that they're guarding isn't touched. Yeah.
So, complete sensory deprivation. That's your first trial.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my note. The walls in this corridor were moving as well. Goblet of Fire with a twist?
Yes.
Did you see how my voice went up like a question at the end there? Like a twist?
Hey yo.
Hey-o.
Or how about the Matrix moment?
The Matrix
on page
moment?
on page 168, where the devil, like one of the guys is like mouthing off, and one of the devils like introducing the trials says, quite a creative mouth you have, Dreama purged to the man. I think I'd find you more pleasing without it, though. And then like makes his mouth disappear like Neo in the Matrix, and he's like, I was like, okay, that scene was from the Matrix. I wrote, so level 4 was the gluttony trial. And I wrote down, Ophelia finally does something herself. LOL. Because her and Blackwell were fighting, and she's like, I'm not summoning him this time. Because like every time there's a new trial, he's like, if you say my name 3 times, you can summon me to the trial and I can help you through it. And she's like, I'm not calling you. I'm doing it myself.
That's so Beetlejuice. Blackwell, Blackwell, Blackwell.
Blackwell. Yeah.
See that 3
Bloody
times.
Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Summon me in our blood bargain. I will be there immediately.
The second realm was lust.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Let's get into lust.
That was actually my favorite one, and I was like, oh. I liked that one.
And this...
But it ended too fast. All of them did.
Amongst the lustful voices, you must pick only one when the first bell tolls. The trial has begun. Before the 4th chime, the truth you must find and the key to your freedom. Beneath the bed lies.
Hey.
Hey! In a realm of desire, illusions enthrall, contestants beware, lest you succumb to their call. Lust. That's what I wrote. Come on, angels, show me your teeth, Blackwell says.
And everybody's like, it's basically walking into like an orgy.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh,
and they force you to drink something. You have to choose. There's like all these different colors of drinks, and you have to choose one. And she chooses red.
Yeah. And it ends up being bloodlust. And then like fake Blackwell explains that
it's not actually Blackwell, it's a manifestation of Blackwell.
Imposter.
But she wants to fuck it.
An imposter. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh, well, you picked red, so that means bloodlust. So that means in order to complete the level, you'll have to drink blood and let someone drink your blood. And I'm like, how would anybody know that? Like if someone was like none of the drinks came with a label. Like they didn't know what they were picking. Like
and then you only have a certain amount of time until the second bell tolls or whatever to find the key.
Specific rules to beat the level, but you don't get any of them. Like and I get that like it wasn't kind of real and it was just like basically a vampire trying to trick her into letting him like drink her. But still. But I'm just like, there's like no context or rules. Get like, here's 4 drinks. Like, hey, well, what one does each one do? Like, don't know, but each one comes with a very specific set of rules and requirements. But we're not going to tell you. Like,
I liked that scene though because it was sexy. Okay, so like it made her. She got like her inhibitions got all crazy, and she thought for a minute that she was getting all hot and fresh with Blackwell, but it wasn't Blackwell.
Why didn't you say Blackwell? It's a dumb name. It's a dumb name. It's not a hot name, okay?
It's not. I like it. I don't know. She's getting close to him. And then she realizes, oh my God, this isn't Blackwell. And so she says, Blackwell, Blackwell, Blackwell. And the real Blackwell comes. And he's like, what are you doing?
Give me the antidote to the drink.
Oh, yeah, because there's an antidote as well.
Sure. Why not? Nothing is ever explained. And like everything is like, all the trials are so interesting. And then they're over before they begin. Like every trial.
Oh, they are very fast. Yeah.
They're so fast. And I'm like, this is such a cool idea.
That's
like,
something I really liked. I really liked how fast paced it was, though. That's something I really did like about the book. But I just feel like there were some parts that could have been like, I thought that scene was long enough, but it was confusing at the same time.
Well, and that one specifically was one of the longer ones that we get to see. There's some that's literally a page and they're already in and out of it. And it becomes very unsatisfying and it kind of makes the stakes of the trial seem like not a big deal. The one trial, like besides the lust one that I actually really enjoyed was the fraud one where they all had to do like a very high stakes game of like true or false. And everybody had like this giant boulder hovering above them. And if you picked wrong, it would like fall and crush you. I felt like that was the only trial that I felt any sense of like, oh no.
You had to... Yeah, because you had to decide whether that person was being honest or not.
Mm-hmm.
And if you caught them being a fraud, and you had no time to call a demon, because in this world you can call, help me, and a demon can come and say, I'll get you out of this situation. I'll save you right now, but you have to make a deal with me. And then
make a deal with the devil.
Yeah. And they'll do something like Blackwell did, like take 10 years from you or something like that in order to save your life. But in that trial, in the fraud trial, which is next to last, I believe or it's towards the end.
It's towards,
it's towards the end.
Halfway through.
There's literally no time. Like if you get caught doing it or whatever, or you answer wrong or something, you're crushed in 2 seconds. Like whatever is holding this giant, massive Stonehenge stone above you, like comes down and flattens you like a fucking pancake. All right.
Well, yeah, because one of the people guesses wrong or whatever, or like one of his disadvantages forces him to guess wrong. But there's like that moment where he's like, oh shit, and he just starts screaming. But before he can, it's like there is like a tiny amount of time, but like they're so panicked of like, oh no, I'm wrong, that there's not.
Yeah.
Also, little sidebar, can we talk about the fact that Blackwell is a very, very clear about the fact that like the second you get into a new level, you have to summon me.
Yes.
And like she just takes her fucking time, like, oh no, I almost died 5 times. Like, oh yeah, Blackwell. He's like, it's about fucking time.
Like, didn't I tell you?
And she's like, well, I'm sorry if, like, I was distracted by the things trying to call my... Like, if it were me, like, the second I walked into it, before I even took stock of the room, I'd be like, Kate, Blackwell. Like,
yeah, because he told you to do so.
Because he told her that. But also, okay, I think I maybe...
That did frustrate me. There were a couple times I was like, God damn it. And then another time she did it just out of spite.
Yeah. Like,
yeah. Because she was mad at him.
Bitch. Like, just get over yourself.
Okay, greed. Above a fiery abyss, your gilded cage must rise. But when it does, others will dive. Golden weights around your chains, greed's alluring song. A dangerous game, a sea of temptation, a choice to unfold. Decide if your life is worth its weight in gold. I liked this trial. It was interesting to me.
I felt like it was messy.
Oh, I thought it was kind of a cool concept, though. Like, what's more important to you? Like, either you can do all these things to get to the top, or you can, the more money you take, the more gold you take, the heavier your cage is. Like, so describe this trial. You describe this trial.
Okay, well, this is where I don't know if I'll do a very good job of it, because I felt like it was messy. Like, I even reread it, and I was like, I feel like I'm still kind of confused on what's actually happening. But they're in cages, like hovering over an abyss of some kind, but they have to climb their way up.
But there's not an abyss, there's like fire.
At the fire, bottom. Yeah. Oh yeah, a lake of lava. Yes, there's a lake of lava. They're in cages. But then they're close enough to the side where they have to dig for these gold things that they can replace the chains with, or they can keep them. But then they also have to climb. Like, I was very confused through that. Like, nothing. That trial didn't really make. Like, I liked the concept of it, but like, are they just like in like wicker cages, like in Pirates of the Caribbean too? And they're just like. Yeah,
wicker? Like
wicker, like a twig, a twig cage. Where they're, because like how are they climbing up like in a steel cage? Like I didn't understand the visualizations there. Like I did not.
Well, the idea is like you dig out. There's like a pulley system. It's like a pulley system, and you have to do certain things to connect your cage to move it up. But the more gold you keep that you dig out when you're connecting these pulley systems, the heavier your cage gets and the harder it is to pull it upwards.
Right. Yeah. But number one, she's supposed to switch out the gold bars for the chains like that. Like, how would anybody know that? And if Blackwell wasn't there to tell her, like, you have to dig for these gold things, like, how would she know that there's just, like, gold embedded into the side of the mountain that she had to dig for? And also, she grabs the chain like an idiot and burns the shit out of her hand. And she's like, oh, no, but I'm going to need my hands to climb. I'm like, but you're in a cage. So how are you, like, I don't understand, like, how you're in a cage and climbing and how you're supposed to know that there's gold bars embedded in the rock.
I liked that part with Cade, though. I liked the part with Cade when she made him plummet towards the bottom. Like, she passed Cade, and Cade is this character, and he's a real asshole to her.
He's the Jack Barlow of this book. He has a hard-on for Ophelia for no reason. He's like, I want to kill you for no reason.
Then he doesn't have a hard-on for her.
Well, a hate on, I should say. He has a hate on for Ophelia for no reason. He's the Jack Barlow equivalent of this book from Fourth Wing and Iron Flame.
I felt like during this part of the book, Ophelia, I don't know, I have a quote from her on page 224. She's mad about Genevieve because Genevieve didn't tell her this, and Genevieve didn't tell her that, and Genevieve didn't tell her that she was going to Phantasma. This really annoyed me. Page 224. Genevieve and I had an understanding. She got to be the one society considered normal. And I would never once complain about having to take over our family's legacy if she would just let me live that sort of life through her. I don't know.
I hated that too.
Yeah, I don't know when she stopped telling me everything. And my note for that was, just because someone you love has a life that you can't have doesn't mean they are obligated to tell you every inch of their lives as a penance.
Yeah.
Like, Genevieve isn't entitled to her own thoughts and feelings and life outside of her family. Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Like, she owes you nothing. You know, those things that you share with people are out of love, but even people you love, you don't have to share everything with. Like, you can still keep some things for you. And I just thought that was very gross and immature. Like, we had an understanding. What do you fucking mean?
Right, like, here's the deal. I'll do the family business, and then you, like, give me a diary of every, like, outing that you have with your friends. Like, captain's log, we went out to the bar and got 3 drinks. Huzzah. Like, no. But then...
Well, Blackwell says to her after that, for what it's worth, he started, being normal is incredibly dull. Almost as dull as living vicariously through someone else. Why rely on your sister to divulge her adventures to you for the rest of your life when you can live your own?
Yes.
And that's exactly how I felt.
And I honestly, that kind of actually goes back into what I was talking about at the very beginning of why she even chases Genevieve in there. It's like Genevieve chose to go into Phantasma. She made that choice. Like, why risk your life when there's nothing you can really do to get her out of it? But also, Genevieve also leaves a letter clearly stating, like, I'm going to do this. This is my choice. You know, I'm sorry for whatever. But, like,
it almost feels like Ophelia is, like, not just trying to live through Genevieve, but also trying to control her in some way.
Like, I'm going to go into there and get her out. And, like, we don't like get any of information from Genevieve's journey in the house really, other than, like, I cheated the whole time because, like, spoiler alert, I also have invisibility powers, and I just, like, really, like, leaned heavily into that.
I have a quote for that
later.
Page 240. This is from Blackwell, going back to the specter thing where Genevieve and Ophelia's father is a specter. Your father was a specter, Blackwell explained. It was the reason I chose him for my bargain. In hindsight, he was one of the worst contestants I've ever offered it to. Stubborn, distracted, but he could shift himself in and out of visibility and pass through solid objects and walls if he chose. Specters are incredibly rare beings. Aha!
Yeah. Haha! Level 4.
Level 4. Gluttony. You ready?
Ready.
A deadly game unfurls. Upon a twisted board. Watch every step you take, or your fate will be untoward. To gain the upper hand, levers are in play, but be careful what you choose. The pendulum swings both ways. Temptations and numbers, don't overcount. Forward or backward, a single key to get out. Gluttony.
Mm-hmm. Gluttony.
And it's like a giant chessboard that is devastatingly dangerous.
Yeah, like pendulums or something, but
very Harry Potter.
Very Harry Potter. Like,
with a twist.
Splice that earlier conversation with now, and I wrote down Ophelia finally does something herself There, page 296. There, so this guy Eric, that is in the trial with them, like he's just like going after her, and he's like trying to. A swinging like saw comes down, and right in the nick of time, her arm goes invisible, and it goes through her, and they're like, oh, "She's a demon! She's a witch! Should we burn her?" And
should we burn?
So he's like trying to go after her. There was a saw mid-swing behind her. She turned to face Eric fully as he regained his composure and straightened himself up. She backed up a step, directly into the path of the pendulum's downswing. Eric braced himself to lunge. When he leaped forward, too distracted by his rage to realize the trap she had set, Ophelia let him seize her, and when the blade swung back down, he never saw it coming.
Oh.
And he got sliced.
Sliced.
But instead of being like, fuck yeah, bitch, she was like, I've killed someone. Like, no, he did it himself by like
trying to kill you.
He tried to kill you first. Also, he just like, there's giant guillotine blades swinging across the room, and he stepped into one. Like, you didn't actually kill him.
So
like,
obviously
his desire to murder you is what killed him.
And also, I didn't understand, like, I couldn't picture in my head how the chessboard fit in with the wall thing. Like, are they in the middle of, like, a cliff? Like, I don't understand.
No.
Is, like, the board hovering over air?
But was that the Wrath challenge? No, it wasn't.
No.
What challenge was that?
Because the pieces, the chess pieces also, like, collapsed. Like,
yeah,
they would
like
go up and down and...
Oh, okay, so it was the gluttony trial. Because, yeah, because they were all on their own lines, but there were, like, these 3 pieces of, like, hovering gold, and the people who, like, stepped forward to take the gold, their pieces would go down and, like, activated the swinging knives of doom.
The pendulums.
Yeah.
The swinging
knives. Because they were trying...
Pendulums.
The pendulums.
I always know exactly what a pendulum is from The Pit and the Pendulum. Did you ever read that?
No.
Oh, that was a Edgar Allan Poe story about someone who is, it's basically like a torture kind of a story where there's someone on a slab of some kind and they're tied to it, and this pendulum is coming down slowly, but you can't hardly even tell that it's coming down. Yeah, and it's like a slicing knife. So it's very Edgar Allan Poe-esque.
Okay. Yeah.
There was a lot of nods to Poe in this, and I feel like that was one of them.
Aside from the cat named Poe.
Aside from the cats, which was a stinker. That cat's a stinker, always getting Ophelia into trouble. Because originally the reason she went through the door in the beginning was because the cat went in there.
So it makes you wonder, because you find out at the end that like, the cat has always been a spy for like the devil. So like, was the cat also always trying to kill her?
Which devil? Rowington? The character I thought was in this book isn't. I am not crazy. There is a website, Phantasma, at the bottom characters, and it's Ophelia, and there's pictures with descriptions and everything, and it's Ophelia, Genevieve, Blackwell, and Rowington.
No.
Yes, I am not crazy.
Show me. Is it Wikipedia?
I have it.
Show it. Send me the link. Rowington. I would have noted that. I know I would have.
Okay. KaylieSmithBooks.com. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to send you the link, and it's not fucking... I'm not fucking crazy. Rowington.
I believe you.
Right there. I'm looking at it. Hold on. How do I text you? How do I text you? Right. You should have it.
I have. Okay, I'm pulling it up.
Rowington. I'm not. Scroll to the bottom.
Rowington.
Am I wrong?
He's a shadow wraith. Sun sign Scorpio, moon sign Aquarius. If you want to be choked, all you had to do is ask. Is that from like
a different book, maybe?
Or just
was but that like just these like are all the this is a Phantasma page. Meet the crew from the Wicked Games.
Oh, from the Wicked Games. So this could be from the next book.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like when I saw this, though, when I read this, it was right when the book came out. And there wasn't even an announcement for Enchantress yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so like Rowan, it says, is the guy from Enchantra. Rowan.
Rowington. That's a stupid name also. I'm sorry. Rowington is a stupid name.
Okay, well, that's who I thought Sinclair was this whole time. I'm so confused.
I'm going to screenshot this.
I'm not crazy.
You're not crazy. You're not crazy.
I'm not crazy. But when I Googled Phantasma...
But it doesn't say from... Phantasma, just this from the Wicked Games.
Okay, but but that's what I mean. Before I even read Phantasma, right when it came out, I Googled, like, the characters so I could, like, get a better picture of what they all look like in my head. And that came up, and I just realized that I was waiting for Rowington the whole time, and he never came. I just thought she changed the name to Sinclair. I was like, man, she needs to update her website. I am really struggling through this book. I'm having a hard time. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, okay. Speaking of names, my next note that I have, page 313. The name Salamastress made me laugh out loud.
Salamastress?
Salamastress. And Sinclair is giving Ophelia some backstory on Phantasma. And she says, "What do you mean? I thought the devils that ran this place were here of their own volition. The rest are. It is only me and Phantasma's creator, Salamastress, who are not here by choice," Sinclair told her. Salamastress.
Sounds like Salamander.
That name away for later.
It sounds like Salamander. That's what it makes.
It's a stupid name. It sounds like this is my first fan. Like, what's a forbidden? My Salamastress.
Let's talk about the sex real quick. At least the first sexual.
Okay.
I thought the sex was so hot. I was like, this is spicy. And also, the way he talks to her just made me melt. Like, my brain melted when he's like, there's this like trend right now in smut that I'm picking up on where the guys call their women like good girl. Like they're talking to a fucking dog. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, please tell me I'm a good girl. Please tell me I'm a good girl. And he says to her, "You're such a good fucking girl." "Yes, I am." That's what I thought. Yeah, I am. Am I a good girl?
I have a quote.
See, I thought you like that because words of affirmation are such your thing.
No, I okay, here's the thing. Like, I like it sometimes, but it has to be in the right. But here's the thing with this book that
you don't want to be a good girl. Why? You're such a good girl.
It just okay, like it felt so out of place in this context, in this world, in this book, in this setting. Like and I wrote that down. the type of sex scenes in this book feels so out of place for the type of story that it's in. Like, I like stand alone by themselves, like, yeah, how, but like it didn't match the characters, it didn't
I
match the
liked it.
setting. I
It was
mean,
hot.
it just didn't match. It
But
didn't
it was
match.
it was sexy. One of my favorite parts is when they're like fucking and it starts raining blood in her room and she's like,
I like
let's
that
just
part.
keep going. Let's just fucking the blood. And he's like, all right. And they just go at it. And it's just like raining blood.
But also, like, that also did not match Ophelia's character at all. So it's like, I'm here for it. It just like felt like I was reading two different books when the sex scenes happened. Like, they just kind of seemed shoved in very randomly.
For me, I thought it did match. And the reason I felt like it matched, it was like, she's like kind of coming into herself, like sexually. Like she's had sex before though.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like,
just not good sex.
Right. I don't know. She's completely come out of her box. Like she's in this place, she's doing these really dangerous things. Like she's doing things she never would have imagined herself doing, and now she's like having like really great sex with this guy, and it's like she's coming out of her shell in a lot of different ways, and that's how I felt about the sexual scenes. And I did like them. I thought they were hot. I thought they were spicy. I thought Blackwell was hot. I liked it a lot.
It just felt like I was reading two different books whenever the sex scenes happened.
I don't care. I liked it. I thought this was great.
It's just all an insta lust, not even insta love. So like the way that they're supposed to be like gonna sacrifice their immortal souls to be in love with each other, like I did not get where we got that.
Well, she didn't know at first about the love thing. How you like can't fall in love. Like it was like more.
No, I mean,
I think she thought of it. No, but she didn't understand that there was consequences that came with it. It was more like a hey, fall in love at your own risk kind of a thought. But they don't say right away if you fall in love, because we find that out when those two characters, there's two other characters like in her team that kind of start to fall in love. And it's like, oh, we can't ever be together because we'll be cursed. And then one of them like leaves the game, the girl. Forget their names.
Lucy and
Leon. Yeah, and he's like, well, I'm not in love with her. And she's like, oh, I didn't realize that we couldn't.
We were just fucking every night.
Yeah.
I've known you for 3. Okay, but also Ophelia in day 3 of Phantasma is like in her mind being like, oh my god, I'm falling for him. And I'm like,
I'm falling for Gus.
No, you're not.
Is he just like get her so good with his ghost dick that like.
But he hadn't even done her yet at that point. And
but he was so hot in his green suit. Virillion.
I don't know.
Virillion. I also noted one thing that I thought was really out of place in this book that I'm just going to mention, since you just said something that was out of place when it came to the sex scenes and the sexy scenes. There was, I'm sorry, we're in a dark romance. This is like a dark romance. Am I wrong?
No.
Like, this is a dark world, okay? There was so much talk about consent going on between the characters, which I'm all down for consent. Consent is great. And it was like part of the thing, like demons can't do anything to you without your consent. But like when it came to like the sexual stuff, it was like it just kept coming up over and over and over again. Like, tell me if anything, if you don't want to do this. Even when she's talking to Sinclair, who's an asshole, he's like, let me know if any of this is making you uncomfortable. I was like, okay. His nickname is Sin, and he cares about your consent. Like that, it just fell out of place to me.
I totally, and I did think that too. I'm like, and I thought the same thing. I'm like, consent is hot, like, yeah, but like also like, you've already consented, like we're doing the thing, like stop talking, you know? Or I
well,
agree.
It's just like I felt like maybe it needed to be brung up like maybe one time, but like not every time they're about to kiss or do just let me know if it... Like, there's even one part on page 227 where Blackwell says, you need to sober up before there's any more kissing.
Yeah, that was
like that was weird. Like, okay, like she doesn't know she wants to kiss you because she's had a little champagne. Like,
right.
It was just very extreme to me, and I was like, that doesn't really fit with this world.
Okay, well, that's the other thing. Like, the sex doesn't fit with the world because also, like, the whole good girl trend vibe, that is extremely modern, and they're supposed to be in the 1800s. Like, this is not, like, good girl era, okay? Like, that's my good girl. Like, that, it was the 1800s, though!
That was true to Ophelia's character, though. Because he was like, I know she needs words of affirmation, like because her mother was so hard on her about everything, and she brings that up a few times, that it's like kind of becomes like part of their relationship. Like, he's giving her something she needs, like verbally, something she needs to hear, like, you're doing a good job, like, you're doing good, girl, keep riding my cock.
Right, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, that's like a current fetish theme thing section. Like, that was not a thing in the 1800s.
No, I agree. I mean, I think in most books, though, they kind of dumb down the language and make it more modern.
It just like, it felt very out of place for the book that we were reading, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying I didn't like it.
I mean, like, also Sinclair is like this character that Blackwell doesn't want her to be around. He's a demon. He's one of the people that works in Phantasma. He's kind of been charged with watching Blackwell, but they don't know that. Or Ophelia doesn't know that. But, like, there's even one part where he says, please call me Sin. And he says stuff like, tell me, Blackwell, is this one a good fuck? And then he's like, do you consent to this? Can I touch you? Is this all right?
Right.
Are you comfortable? Yeah. Like, it just didn't feel genuine.
Like, when it started, like, when I was, especially with the New Orleans theme, with the goth theme, and there's demons and vampires and werewolves, oh my, like, I was expecting kind of something on the, like, True Blood level of, like, just kind of dark and twisted. And
I did like I was saying earlier, I liked a lot of the descriptions of the world. I thought it was very, like we said, Gothic, Victorian, and pretty. I do have a quote or a reference quote for that on page 269. And this is just a description of Ophelia's dress. The dress was made of ruby silk and shimmering gold embroidery. The bodice looked as if it had been painted onto her skin. The sweetheart neckline of the red corset plunged scandalously low, and gold brocade was layered atop in an intricate swirling pattern, accentuating the bosom. The straps and draped over her shoulders, sweeping down her back in a deep U shape. The gown's full skirt was made of the same scarlet silk as the bodice, pleated in a most flattering way, lending hourglass curves to her usual shapeless figure. Golden opera gloves stretched from her fingertips to her elbows, and a ruby pendant the size of a quarter hung around her throat, just below her beloved locket. And it was just like these descriptions of the inside of Phantasma, the decor, the dresses. It really brings you into this universe of like this Gothic Victorian decor, and I loved the visuals that my brain came up with some of the descriptions that I got. I thought it was so fun and pretty and beautiful in my mind. And that's one thing I really enjoyed about this book. And that is consistent from the beginning to the end. Like, I really think that Kaylie Smith is very talented at painting a picture of the setting that you're in. And I think that is probably one thing that a lot of people really latched onto with this book, because this is a very well-liked book. Phantasma is liked. And the atmosphere that you're in is addicting. The next trial for Wrath, Ophelia has no context for what she's walking into. She has missed the clue because of Sinclair, who put her into an illusion. She almost misses the trial completely and gets kicked out of Phantasma. So Sinclair starts to dance with her and pulls her into this illusion where she's dancing and she's getting passed around by these different illusions, and she just keeps dancing and dancing and dancing and she can't stop. She's stuck like in this illusion of dancing, and it runs right into the beginning of the Wrath trial, and she almost misses it and gets kicked out of Phantasma, and that is very instrumental because Sinclair does not want her to win. And Sinclair does not want her to help Blackwell. So this is like part of his strategy to get her kicked out of Phantasma. And he nearly succeeds. And so when she goes into the Wrath trial, she doesn't have her clue and she has no idea what she's walking into. Okay, the next trial, Deceit. Are you ready?
Yes.
A trial of secrets, where blood reveals the price. True or false? Make sure your choice is wise. That doesn't rhyme. A crushing truth, sealed by uncertain fates. False tales won't help, for your blood knows the stakes. Deceit.
Deception.
And was that the one that where the things dropped? Or was that fraud?
Yeah. No, that was fraud. This one was...
Can't even remember.
This is okay, so this is the true or false one.
Oh yeah, the true or false one.
Yeah, this is the No. Yeah, make sure
Yeah.
A
crushing truth, false tales won't help. Yeah.
Yeah, so everybody gets like a true or false question, but like they don't know the other contestants is like, oh, this person did this, true or false, and the rest of the group has to choose true or false, or if they have like a penalty like a couple of them do from past trials, like they don't get to pick and one of them is just random.
What's the bad thing that happens to you in this one?
The giant boulder that comes down and crushes you.
I thought that was fraud.
This is the fraud one.
No, this is deceit.
Oh, well, deceit, fraud, same thing.
We already talked about that.
Oh, no, one of the notes that I had for level 6, I said, finally at level 6, do we seem to get some actual stakes and it isn't rushed through. Like, I enjoyed that one.
Yes. Page 334, the level is violence. A choice of 2 tokens, a decision to make. If all only take 1, nothing is at stake. If 2 choose 1 and the third takes all, the third will walk, the others will brawl. If 2 choose all and the third takes 1, the third will be free, the other 2 are done. Violence.
Oh, violence.
Oh, violence.
Oh, violence. I was actually surprised that Ophelia actually had it in her to kill Cade.
Yes. Yes.
I like that.
And Ophelia and Blackwell around this time are fighting a lot. They're having a little bit of issues. I think that she's starting to have feelings for him and he's trying to keep it surface level.
Because it's been 5 whole days and he's in love.
And she's falling in love with his ghost wainer.
Like all he's done is like make her climax, and like they've had literally no conversations other than that. Like that's the only thing that I wish that there was more of in the book is like the smut is great and like the environment is like really cool, but there's nothing in there that like gives you a sense of them falling in love with each other.
I don't know, I disagree with that. Also, when Genevieve finds them in Phantasma, it's really anticlimactic and weird.
Yes. Very anticlimactic. I agree.
And I did not care for Genevieve.
She's just like, Ophi? Like, what are you even doing here? But like, can you stop fucking my sister long enough to where like we can like catch up or something? Like it just...
I did not care for Genevieve at all.
No.
In any of her dialogue scenes. I thought that she was kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't care for Genevieve's character. In fact, I'm kind of nervous about Enchantra because I didn't really care for Genevieve, but I do want to read it.
Is it about Genevieve?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Rowington. And Rowan. The Shadow Wraith. Okay, listen to this. Listen to what I just read, and I'm like, what? I don't even remember this. So I'm looking up the last... Okay, fraud is another level. It's not the same level as deceit. This says right here, at the start of the novel, Tessie is dead, killed by her ex-lover Gabriel's attempt at the fraud level of Phantasma during his second time in the competition.
You're right. That's the last one with the imposters.
Yeah, that's right. So the last level is fraud.
That's right.
We don't get a clue.
Yeah, you do. It's like it's just choose wisely.
Just choose wisely. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not a very good clue.
Yeah, choose wisely. Like, okay, Indiana Jones and the Goblet of... So you have to choose which person is the real person. So at this point she sent Genevieve home because like they know that only one person can enter level 9 of Phantasma. So they're like, well, she should just forfeit now so she'll be safe. And then in level 8 is when there's like 2 versions of Genevieve there, and she has to decide which one is the real Genevieve. But the stakes of this one is that if she chooses wrong, the real Genevieve dies outside of Phantasma.
And that's how her mother dies.
And that is how her mother dies.
And
because
she doesn't know
father,
that till now.
Because
her father's name is Gabriel, wasn't it?
Yep, and that's why Genevieve wanted to enter Phantasma, because she had on the DL had been learning all the stuff about their backstory and learned that their parents had gone to Phantasma together, and she's been trying to hunt him down. And we also like never get any resolution there with the father.
Yeah, that's very odd. Yeah.
And so he ends up picking wrong. And when Ophelia learns that, she's like, "Oh shit." And Blackwell says that their father re-entered the competition like years later after they met, because they were cursed. Genevieve's mom and he were cursed, and for him,
because they fell in love in Phantasma, so they're cursed.
And his curse was becoming more and more obsessed with her. Her curse was becoming more and more apathetic towards him. So she basically enacts this like ghosty restraining order, and she makes a deal with the devil outside of Phantasma when they're done to make, and she's pregnant with her second, with Genevieve at this point, to make Gabriel forget her and their children so that they can just go do their own thing. But because of the tie to Phantasma and the specific curses around it, it only lasts for so long, and that devil can't completely eradicate the connection between them. So he starts to remember and starts to like reach out to them, but Tessie wants nothing to do with him. And she's like, joint custody? Fuck no. Like, I'll just make another deal with another devil. Like, rude.
Yeah, and also
I don't get
I think
a lot of
isn't that why he goes back into Phantasma to try and get the deal?
And he goes back, to basically like
to get the devil's grant.
To undo the curses or to get them back in some way, but he fails that level. And because he failed that level, that's why Tessie died.
Very sad.
Very sad. And very high stakes. And also I felt like really unfair because like the people, I felt like that was like a weird loophole with like, the Phantasma stuff, because the people who enter Phantasma, they accept all the risks for themselves. Like they know what they're walking into. So the fact that outside people that have nothing to do with Phantasma have no knowledge of it, or that the person is entering can be affected by it, like, I don't know, that just seems like cheating. I don't know.
I think a lot of the rules are just all over the place.
All over the place.
There's so many rules, it's hard to remember them all. There's so many rules that we're still looking them up right now.
Like, and they don't match
Yeah.
with each other, and they also contradict each other at times too. Because Phantasma, like you said, Phantasma is all about consent. Like, you walk into, like, do you accept this risk, like harm to your own self? But at no point is it saying that anything that can happen within Phantasma will affect anyone outside of it. Like, that feels like a cheat. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I thought it was messy. And especially as the closer we get to the end of the book, the messier it gets.
Yes.
Yes. Yep. And we're about to dive right into the end.
Oh, man.
Oh, we're diving.
Oh, man. I guess this is like semi kind of towards the end where her and Blackwell break up for like the 4th time or whatever. But specifically page 395, I just wrote down, there's a possibility. Like, girl, you do not have time to just lay around and mope. You're in a fucking haunted house that is trying to kill you. You don't have time to pull a Bella right now. You've known him for a week. Chill. And it's page 395, like the entire chapter. Chapter 42, Sorrow. Ophelia stayed in bed until the sorrow in her soul ebbed and the dinner bell chimed. End of chapter. Like, that was the whole chapter. That one sentence was an entire chapter. I'm like, oh my god. Please.
Also, I thought, like, Blackwell got a little cheesy for how short they've been together. Page 401. And I would trade every other soul in the world if it meant I would get to keep you forever. And I wrote, like Casper, can I keep you? Can I keep you?
Okay, so that's funny. I have a quote on page 400.
Oh.
Like, okay, like, I'm all about, like, the good girl thing, like, in the right context, but I did write down, okay, we're overdoing good girl. Page 400. Like, when it isn't sexual, it just comes off as condescending. Like, they're talking about the trial, and he says, when you get into this level, make sure you summon me, all right? She dipped her head in a subtle nod. Good girl, he murmured.
Oh, I like that. Jared says something to me on the reg that I really like. He says, like, when I do something good, he says, that's my girl. And every time I'm like, I like that.
No, okay, so, like, again, in the right time and place, but, like, that time, it just seemed, like, really condescending for whatever reason. And again...
For you? You can call me a good girl anytime and a bad girl anytime. Thank you. I like that. I found the end more than confusing. So badly wrapped up. So rushed.
I'm really happy that you felt that way too, because like I had like an ebb and flow where I was like, yeah, and then I was like starting to be like, yeah, again, and then it.
I remember thinking when I finished the last chapter and the epilogue, I remember thinking to myself, what the fuck was that? That was literally my thought. What the fuck was that? It was just so fast and so confusing because, like, Blackwell, who is the Prince of Devils. Okay. So if you win Phantasma, you get a Devil's Grant, which is basically, a wish, basically, with no strings attached. Because usually in this universe, if you make a deal with the devil for something that you really want or desire, there's strings attached to that, and you have to give up something of yours. But if you win Phantasma, if you're the last one standing, you get a Devil's Grant, which is a completely no strings attached wish, right? From specifically the person who runs Phantasma, the Prince of Devils, who is Blackwell.
We learn at the... I called that. That was not surprising to me.
How did you call that? For me, it was like, how can you have someone who genuinely has all of this memory loss on the regular basis and then also is the Prince of Devils and knows all the things at the end? Those two things don't make sense to me.
I never trusted Blackwell all the way through the whole book. I never
But
did.
does he actually know? Does he not know? I don't know, because they don't have those conversations.
They never have conversations. Like, everything is vague.
But it's also super rushed. It's so rushed that they don't have these conversations explaining how all these things are connected and like what Blackwell was actually doing, like if he was deceiving her, if he wasn't deceiving her. Like, they don't have those talks.
No, they don't have those talks. But the like, you asked how did I call that? Because the prologue says it. And it's Ophelia. It's from Ophelia's point of view, and she's like, "You tricked me, and the devil ran a fingertip down my neck, and he whispered in my ear. But everything leading up to this moment, I remember in perfect clarity." So it's like I feel like it was just always there. And
yeah, it was very weird.
But it's in the prologue, so I'm like, okay, well, the one person that she trusts in this place is going to trick her. Because the prologue literally starts with her being like, "You tricked me." So, like, that was not surprising to me. But she also goes into the trial early because only one person is allowed to enter level 9. Which means...
Doesn't she go in directly after...
Yeah, she like walks out of the portal of 8 and she's like, "Whatever, I'm summoning it. I'm summoning the Whispering Gate." And Sinclair's like, "No." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm doing it." And he's like, "You can't do that." And Blackwell's like, "Yeah, she can." She's like done it like 3 times since she's been here. He's like, "What?"
Because all this time she's been looking for this key and the hearts to save Blackwell, because that was the deal that they made. And the key was her heart. Okay, will you explain that? Because I still feel a little confused about it.
That the locket that they've never been able to open for generations of having it has the key inside of it, and it's like a literal heart. It's like
so she's been looking for this. She's been looking for the heart and the key or whatever.
It's been around her neck the whole time. Page 460, when he's like doing his like unveiling, it really gave "My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius."
You killed my father.
She gets in there and she's like trying to summon Salamastris.
He is Salamastris,
the creator of Phantasma. But she's also like trying to summon Blackwell. And she's like, "Oh no, maybe it's not working in this level because it's the last level." And all of a sudden he appears and she says, "Blackwell?" She whispered. "Firstly, let me reintroduce myself." He dipped his head in a...
It's so bad. It's so bad. It's like,
it's so bad.
Hold on, let me monologue.
He dipped his head in a formal bow. "My name is Salamastris Erasmus Blackwell, Prince of the Devils. But you, angel, may call me Salem."
What?
So stupid. Erasmus. "My name is Salamastris Erasmus Blackwell." So stupid.
I'm fucking dead. That's so stupid. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, this is so weird. Like, I like the Blackwell twist, but like also make it make sense. And it doesn't make sense. Maybe it does. It's just so ridiculous. It just made me laugh.
I wrote down Nocturnia LMFAO. Because hell is basically called Nocturnia. Also, they did not explain how the king of the devils, I guess, whoever Salamastris, aka Blackwell's father, is, like, doesn't know his true name, and that's what gives it power. He's like, "Oh, I know your true name." Like, they never explained the significance of that.
Okay, wait a second. Okay. I did do some, because there's this like thing in the book where it's like, if you give your name to people that they can use the name
Mm-hmm.
against you. And actually, when she first meets Blackwell, when she goes on the lawn, like at the beginning, he asks her for her name, and she's like, "No, I'm not going to give you my name because then you
they
can
establish
use that
that, but like,
against me."
what's the consequence of that? Like, what's the consequence of a name? Like, why is it so for Blackwell specifically for his dad?
Okay, so I did do a little bit of research on name at page 42, and she knew in certain places and certain kinds of beings names held too much power to freely give them away. And I did some research on name magic or true name magic and like the significance of that. In folklore, the idea that knowing someone's true name gives the person power over them is known as the law of names. This idea suggests that knowing someone's true name allows a person to magically affect them. The law of names is a folklore practice that suggests that knowing someone's true name gives the person who knows it power with magic, white and black magic.
Right. But you shouldn't have had to look that up for us to try to get context for the ending.
Oh, I completely agree with that. But I did. And that's the context. In fact, I've done that many times. Sometimes during this episode.
Oh, well, but like that's the thing. It's like it's there, like, oh, like even in the beginning where she's like, oh, I'm not going to tell you my name because names have power. But it's like, but why though? You don't explain it within the context of your world, and especially specific to Blackwell and his father. Like, how does the king of the devils not know his son's true name? Why does he not know that? Like, is it a name that you're just like given to you and only you? Like, he has parents if that's his father. So, like, did his mom give him a secret name? We don't know.
No, that's what I mean. It was so messy and didn't connect, and there were so many holes in the resolution and so many questions that are never resolved because it was so fast.
Because she rushes the ending by summoning the gate early, it null and voids her winning the devil's grant. And she was basically like, I was going to use my last wish to free you from the lamp. And he's like, what? You would do that for me? And she's like, yes, of course, because he's like, don't say it. I love you. It's been a whole week, but I know. And I'm willing to let myself die.
Yeah.
For some reason. Like,
it was weird. That
it was
epilogue was really when I wanted to pull my hair out. And I
hated it.
I have a quote and an end note about the epilogue. This is my last note that I have. Because I was just like, I'm just going to wash my hands right now because I was so mad when I finished. Page 407, epilogue, Kindle edition. You're absolutely incorrigible, she hummed as she leaned her palms on his chest. You love it. She turned her head to nip at his bottom lip. Devil. Angel, he drawled. She kissed him then, long and slow, reveling in the little piece of heaven she saved from the dark depths of hell. And this is my note, okay? This is my last thought that I had when I ended. Why did we get this weird, non-descriptive, happily ever after ending? Like it's just a run-of-the-mill romance novel. And the next one is about Genevieve, so you're not going to have your questions resolved. There was so much to expand on with Ophelia and the son of the Lord of Darkness. What about his dad? He's not mad about this? This is so weird. Hate the ending. That's what I wrote.
Hated the ending.
Yeah. Hate it.
And it was actually starting to like when it got past like level 6, I was like, okay, I'm actually like for the first time like really starting to like get into it. And then the ending happened. I was just
it's like a what was that kind of a because you go from finding out that she loves him and that Phantasma is basically going to be dissolved to this scene with them kissing in her house. And it's this like weird rom-com. There's no transition
There's no
scene
transition.
or conversation.
Also, he's like Phantasma is crumbling around us. I'm like, okay, so what happened to the other contestants? Like, did they get out? Like,
yeah, and then it's just like, oh, now we're living in Ophelia's house and everything's perfect and we love each other. What?
And we also did like some like extreme like magic gymnastics to basically create a perfect ending to where we all get what we want, and then we both ended up being immortal, and like you get your heart, I get my heart, but like I'll be the thing that tethers you to this plane. It was all so messy.
Yeah, and then like also there's all of these stakes that are not fleshed out, like with his father being literally Satan basically. And the whole reason he even created Phantasma was because he was mad. And he even put people there and implemented them to keep him from being able to beat Phantasma. And there's no fleshing out of this. Like, he doesn't even know where he is. And he's the Prince of Darkness. And like, oh, but he's just going to stay and they're just going to have like this happy home in this mansion in New Orleans. Like,
we're going to play house. Like, I bought your sister tickets so she can go on a week's long vacation. And that way we can like just be in your manor. Like, I just like made the bank forget about all your debts and just
it was one of the top most built up and unsatisfying endings I've ever read.
Yeah.
I was like, what was that? It ended like a rom-com book, and this is not a rom-com book. This is a dark romance.
Right. And like they can still be together and get their ending or whatever, with just
going within this universe and writing about them having to figure out how to be together even in the next book. And then the next book is just a completely different story, like a romance series. Yeah. It's like her sister and Rowington. And we're not even gonna, I don't know. Maybe we'll get Ophelia in the next book too. I don't know. But it was very, very weird ending. I did not like it.
I'm really happy that you said that, because once I hit like the 75% mark, I was like starting to get more back into it. And I was like, you know what? Okay. I'm actually like, okay, I'm getting into it now. And then the ending happened and I was like, never mind. Hated that.
I mean, in general, I did like the book. I read it very quickly. I wanted to find out what happened next, but it just, to me, it really fell apart. The ending fell apart for me. I was like, whoa. What a missed opportunity there. Well, okay. I'm all done. I have no more flow notes. How about you?
Nope. I'm quotes.
Quotes? You want to get into quotes? This is our quote section. We're going to read all our quotes that we took for funsies.
All right, do you want to go first, my lady?
Sure. This is Kindle edition, page 40. The closer they got, the further the static spread across her skin, caressing every bare inch, making goosebumps perk up on her forearms and legs. And when other things began to perk up from the unnerving warmth as well, she blushed furiously and rushed to wrap her arms over her chest. And I wrote in parentheses, nipples.
Was that the lust trial where she's like,
remember.
I suddenly need to touch myself.
Oh, my nipples are so hard.
Oh, my nipples.
I could cut grass. Your turn.
Okay, page 75. This is what I was talking about earlier, just the overuse of the word core.
I love that. It's so bad.
She let out a screech that was half frustration and half terror as she shook the creature off, squeezing her eyes shut and expelling out as much of the untouched magic in her core as she could.
Oh, my core is throbbing. My core.
Because core is also so often in like romance used as like a euphemism for your vagina. She's like, all the magic in my core, like she just like sat down and shot her vagina, her vagina out.
My vagina
Like,
magic. Wong, 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 wong. I thought this was a really weird insult.
Okay.
Paige. This is a fucking weird insult. I was like, oh, that's not a great insult. Page 112. Incredible, Blackwell echoed. The audacity of men worth less than dirt. I was like, what a weird thing to say. That's not Blackwell.
Blackwell. Page 178. This is during the lust, I think it's the lust trial where a vampire is like pretending to be Blackwell to get her to submit and like consent to being eaten, basically. But then the real Blackwell shows up.
Because she says Blackwell, Blackwell, Blackwell.
Blackwell. And he's like, it's about damn time. She lunged, tackling him to the ground. She wrapped her hands around his throat, determined to cause him as much harm as she could while he was still solid. I don't care if you're already dead, she hissed. I'm going to kill you again. Is this your attempt at flirting, Angel? He choked out, despite the pressure she was putting on his neck. Her lips curled in disgust. Both of my hands are wrapped around your throat. That doesn't make it any clearer, he responded.
So weird.
I'm into choking, so that's basically flirting to me.
Page 159. He reached up and rubbed his thumb over her split lip, eliciting a quick, sharp pain. He brought his thumb to his mouth, now painted with a smear of her blood, and licked it clean. Stop it! So yummy.
That reminds me of Galaxy Quest where they like laugh. Like they're like, la, 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 la. It was a ship as big as this.
Do you know that guy is Dwight Schrute is one of those guys?
Yes, I did.
I didn't. It's hilarious.
Did you know he had to quit that movie because he got a role in something else? And that's why he's only in that one scene?
No.
Yeah.
Also, his name isn't Dwight Schrute. It's Rainn Wilson. Sorry. I love Rainn Wilson though.
He's great. I love him. Okay. Paige. Wait, it's your turn. No, it's my turn.
Oh, I did the split lip one.
Page 207. They're getting into it. Good girl, he murmured as he licked and nipped at the sensitive skin behind her right ear. She preened at the praise.
She creamed? What did she say? What did you say? Did you say creamed? Oh,
No.
I'm creaming.
Preened.
Oh,
Preened.
shit. I creamed. My face is getting red.
It was just like it was so cheesy. Let go, he says. The word snaps something loose inside of her. It was all too much, too intense, too hot, too good. And soon there was a sharp carnal sensation tightening deep inside her core.
Jesus.
Climbing and twisting until it reached a crescendo and she came crashing down in a wave of... It was her first orgasm. A wave of pleasure.
Fucking word crescendo. Oh my god. Stop it.
I was laughing.
Crescendo.
And this is what I mean. Like, sometimes the sex was really hot, and then sometimes I was like,
He tilted his face up to whisper his words right next to her ear. Or right into her ear, sorry. Not next to it. I want to taste your sins. I want to taste your sins.
Page 219, she's talking with Blackwell. What would you suggest we do to bide our time? A wicked smirk. Nothing that involves keeping our clothes on. Please don't make this hard. The smirk blew into a full-blown grin. Well, technically, you're the one. If you were about to make some ridiculous innuendo involving the word hard, she pointed at him with the hairbrush. Swallow your tongue.
Oh my god. Page 223. This is Ophelia. She asked, "Is there somewhere quieter we can go? The screams are going to give me a migraine."
I remember that. Page 222. A very fun 2 in a row from the Love Hypothesis that I've never seen it in a book, and now like I've seen it in our last 2. Plus, the room had begun to smell strongly of petrichor and salt.
Petrichor!
Petrichor! A side effect of all the magic that was beginning to make her feel lightheaded. To make her lightheaded. I was like, I feel like I was the only person who knew this word. And like the last 2 books we've read, I've seen it in there. I'm like, we're bringing around petrichor.
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 And if you guys don't know what petrichor means, it is the little, what is it?
It means the smell of rain. And rain is my favorite thing, and my last name is Petrie, so Petrie, petrichor. It's spelled like Petrie. So
that's
I'm like,
Tiffany's favorite word.
It's my favorite word.
I'm trying to think of what my favorite word is, and I'm thinking that it might be divinity. Divinity. All right, your turn. Oh, wait, is it my turn?
No, it's your turn.
This one made me think of Jared.
Oh.
Page 226. This is Blackwell.
Blackwell.
She tipped the glass back, draining it in 3 gulps. Well, that's one way to drink bourbon that's taken 3 decades to age, he noted.
Yes. That. 272. She's talking with Sinclair, and he's like monologuing.
Can I finger you? Because he fingers her at one point. Super weird. That was super weird.
That whole thing was super weird.
Yeah.
And also felt very uncharacteristic.
He's like, "Hi, can I have consent to finger you? Cool, I'm going to finger you now. Why aren't you excited about this?"
And she's like, "I'm in love with Blackwell." Yes, you may.
And she's like, "Oh, wow, I'm not enjoying this."
And then Blackwell finds out about it. She's like, "How you let him touch you?" And she's like, "Only because I didn't want him to touch me, obviously.
I just wanted to see if it felt the same as when it was with you."
And it doesn't. Only you ignite my fire. 272. She's asking him why is he so intent on Blackwell's destruction? And he's like, what do you want from me? And he's like, "It's not you I want something from," Sinclair avowed. "I apologize for my crudeness. I couldn't help getting a rise out of him, and unfortunately for you, you seem to be something that he cares about, which means you're the key to his undoing." And she says, "Undoing?" She gave a mocking laugh. "Could you be any more cliche with the villainous theatrics?" Very Chandler. "Could you be any more dramatic?"
Page 231. Cheeks heated profusely. He had a knack for making everything sound sensually appealing. It drove her mad with want. Oh, no. I'll have what she's having.
Page 295. They're in they're in a trial of some kind, and Blackwell tells her, like, you have to run. Disposing of him myself will drain too much of my magic at once. And she just says, men are always useless. She growled at them both.
So fucking real. So real.
Men are always useless. I'll do it myself. Like, you have to run. Like, yeah, no shit, I'm on it.
Page 222. This is gorgeous, she said, gaping down at the elaborate garment, brushing her hands over the butter-soft fabric of the skirts. Where is it from? My fantasies, he winked. Oh.
I remember that one. You fantasize, like, specific women's clothing. Page 315. She's talking to Sinclair once again. You know, he's, like, all trying to tease her and, like, trying to, like, schmooze her and, like, get on her good side. And she's just like, no. And he's like, hello, necromancer. The devil greeted her as all the light in the room snuffed out. And she says, fuck off doesn't seem to have the same potency here as it does in the French Quarter. So it's like sometimes she's so bold and sassy, and then sometimes she's so like
insecure and shy. Yeah, it's really contradictory sometimes.
Yeah.
This is my last quote. Ophelia has a very true thought at the end here where I was like, agreed, Ophelia. Page 348. I told you before that nothing would ever stop me from getting to you if you needed me, and that will remain true forevermore. I would tear the universe apart at its seams if I must. She wanted to roll her eyes at the drama of that statement.
I remember that.
And I was like, me too, Ophelia.
Me too.
Me too.
320, page 320. It's the most just like cliche villain line. Again, Sinclair is talking about Blackwell and his vendetta against him, and she's like she's asking him like, where does Blackwell picture into his like deal? And he says, Sinclair straightened up, fury flitting across his expression at the mention of Blackwell's named. That's a weird way to say that. Blackwell's named. That phantom bastard has sabotaged me time and time again.
Again. Time and time again.
Time and time again I have been sabotaged by him.
The Fiend.
It made me think of like Radigan, like time and time again I have been thwarted by
I'm thwarted. I have been thwarted by Blackwell. Oh my god, my stomach hurts from laughing. Oh.
I have a couple more. I have like one more silly one and like one more where I was like, okay, this is actually really good. Page 349. Page 349. They're getting frisky with each other.
Frisky, you say?
She whimpered with anticipation as he stepped back and undid the belt of his trousers with one hand, flicking open the button with his other. His eyes didn't leave her face as he liberated his cock from beneath his fabric cage.
Fabric cage? A cage? He unleashed it.
That's one way to describe pants. He released it from its fabric cage.
Oh shit.
I cannot. Okay.
Oh my god.
I cannot with this book. Okay. Finally, I have one good quote where I was like, okay, we get real for a second, and I actually like really liked this. Page 243 to 244, and she's kind of having a meltdown, and this is the first time that Blackwell's kind of seeing the shadow voice affecting her, and she's not able to hide that, and he's seeing it, and she's like I can do it, like I don't need your help, blah blah blah. And he says, Ophelia, his tone was firm now, you don't need to fix yourself, you're not broken, but it's okay to get outside help if it gets too loud. And then a little later on he says, taking care of yourself first is not a sin. You understand that, right?
Oh, I like that.
Mental health. It's important.
Yes.
It's important. And that is all of my notes and quotes.
1-star reviews.
1-star reviews. 1-star reviews. Star reviews. Goodreads stats.
Yes.
Please. Would you like them?
I would. Can you please free them from the cage?
From their fabric cage of desire. Yes.
Fabric cage. I fucking love that.
Okay, so when you go like hook up with Jared next, you like release yourself from your fabric cage.
I just think there's like a cartoon and it's just like
See, this is the fine line between smut. Like sometimes it's so hot, and then sometimes you're just like, oh my god, it's too ridiculous. Like I can't.
Yeah, 1-star book, 5-star time.
1-star book, 5-star time. So on Goodreads, this has at the time that I looked this up, an overall rating of a 4.10.
Yeah, I told you it's like highly rated. It's not badly rated.
It has over 118,000 ratings. The most of those being 4-star, the majority at 40%, over 48,000. 5 stars coming in at second at 37%, and then 3, 2, 1. 1-star only being less than 1%, actually.
Wow.
Only 1,112 1-star ratings. And these are some of those 1-star.
Yeah. I haven't read any, so I'm excited to hear them.
All right. On says, Ophelia was just an insufferable and terrible FMC. For someone in her 20s, she was incredibly immature, especially when she blamed her younger sister Genevieve for her own choices. The whole plot is supposed to be about Ophelia trying to find her sister, but halfway through it feels like it totally gets lost because she's too busy fucking Blackwell. Deepak says, all right, let me cook this bullshit to death and then burn this pathetic existence that shouldn't even be called a book.
So passionate.
With my hateful ass words, of course. This was a fucking insult to my eyes and my time.
I'm insulted.
The hype? Don't believe it for a second. Phantasma is cringe overload fest that tries extremely hard to mimic the allure of dark romances, but fails miserably. Awfully so. The idea and concept had potential, but the plot, banter, and utterly kid-like romance, stupid dumb, and both hand gesture. Here, let me introduce you to this bona fide dumbass lady, FMC Ophelia. Ophelia? More like, oh, she is dumb.
Well said.
Mia says, is this the worst book? No. This is generic and boring, made for with zero creativity. Not like other girls with cringe insta-love. They were giving Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox. Girl, bye.
What? That's such a weird thing to say.
I guess they're a couple. Alex Z says, this? No. I simply cannot read any more about Ghost Dick. Christina says, DNF at 20%. Caraval times Kingdom of the Wicked, but less fun, bad, and more boring bad. If the number of times I've rolled my eyes is higher than the number of pages I've read, we have a problem. Girly Pop has the personality of a wet mop, and the love interest learned how to banter at the Jennifer L. Armentrout School of Smirking and Talking in Circles. Hard pass. So this next one, she had a very long one, but I condensed it to some of her top ones because she had a lot to say and some of them were very funny. Sam says, my selling pitch. Another shitty resand fanfiction repackaged for the masses. Now with added ghosts. I'm so confused. What time period is this taking place in? I thought it was ye old Victorian, but the fucks given and the sexual liberation don't fit, lol. Rah feminism and all that, but can you do it in a way that still feels in place with your setting? As someone with permanent high beams, all these books that point out nipples hardening baffle me. Girly Pop needs to go to horny jail. Her initials are OMG, lol. Ophelia Marie Grimm. OMG. And her last one, she says, yo, that grosses me out. He really just got her sister's pussy juice on her hand. Brother, ew.
Brother, ew.
Brother, ew. Genevieve walks in on them and he like snaps his fingers and closes them, but then shakes her hand.
Ew.
Cross Culture says, Caraval meets Throne of the Fallen, DNF.
Okay, I haven't read Caraval, Throne of the Fallen, or the other one that you mentioned, Kingdom of the Wicked. I haven't read any of those.
No, a lot of people in the reviews are comparing this book to those. You really had the audacity to start your description with, I read these two books and stole their premise to write my own original trash. Ooh. I call it inspired meets along the lines of reminiscent, followed by an exact description of the two books mashed together, followed by messy and unoriginal shallow writing, DNF. Pick a different career. I mean it. Zero mercy for people who choose to do this. You're preying on young people who have not read too many fantasy books. Cash cow alert.
Oh my god. That is so mean.
Hardcore.
Find another job.
They are mad about it.
I hate you. She might as well just written, I hate you.
She is mad about it. Last one. Luce says, this book is a carbon copy of Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I even checked the dates of when each book was released to make sure Caraval wasn't the copy. But it isn't. The exact same story, but instead of a magician in charge of the game, it's demons and ghosts. Poor. So poor. And the writing was mediocre at best. I understand similarities between authors and books sometimes, but this is a step too far.
God, we've got to read Caraval. That's very highly loved.
Yeah, that's a really popular one. It's been on my list for a while, but I have not. So those are the 1-star reviews.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay! 1-star reviews.
Final thoughts and ratings, Lita.
You go first.
Me?
You.
Oh, I don't want to.
You go first.
Okay. I really wanted to love this book. And I did love aspects of the book. It has all the right ingredients of something that I would really just totally eat up. Like with the gothic dark themes, the smut, the high stakes, the kind of, the first bit of the book I was like, yes, and then it kind of went downhill for me. Ophelia was really obnoxious for me as a main female character. The whole book just kind of felt rushed, and I just like I loved the environment so much. The way that she painted the picture of Phantasma and like the kind of, dark gothic vibes. And then I just like felt like it didn't deliver on all of those. Like the trials were super rushed to me. The ending was super anticlimactic and unsatisfying. At the end of the day, I just didn't care about the characters like at all. It didn't stick the landing for me. So for me, oh, I'm scared. It's a
okay.
It's a 2.5 for me. I keep going back and forth on what I'm going to do, and I reserve the right to change my answer later, but right as of now I'm rounding up to 3.
Yeah.
It really could go either way for me. I really wanted to love it and I didn't love it.
Right. I really loved the setting of this book. I thought it started out really strong for me. Actually, the first, I would say 70 pages or so were a little frustrating. Once she gets into Phantasma, I really started to like it more, but it really fell apart at the end. The end was really, 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 really frustrating for me. I never want to leave a book being angry for the wrong reasons. Like, I don't mind it if it's like a cliffhanger or something like that. But I was angry because I just thought the ending was terrible. I just didn't like it. And honestly, up until the end, I thought it was a 4-star book, but the ending really just completely decimated that for me. I also was thinking 2.53. So I will probably,
Really?
yes, I was. So I would say 3 stars, which is a solid rating. It's just like a middle grade book. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
I do want to read Enchantra just because I want to. And that comes out on April 8th this year, 2025.
Yeah.
So I will be reading Enchantra, even though at this point I don't have the highest hopes for it, but I'm going to read it. So 3 stars for me.
All right. Well, so group rating 3.
Yeah.
I was really expecting you to like it a lot more than me based on some of the things you were saying.
No, I really did enjoy reading it. But there was a lot of issues with it. Just construction.
Yeah. I feel like I love the idea and the concept of it so much more than the execution of it.
So group rating 3 stars. How did you guys like it?
Yeah, we
Let
want to
us
hear your
know.
feedback. I've definitely heard mixed reviews from friends. I've had some friends say that they loved it, and some not so much. So,
yeah. And I would also like to say that, like, 3 stars is not a bad rating.
That's not a
in my
bad rating.
mind. No. Well, hell yeah. Well, this was so much fun. I had such a good time tonight.
This was fun. Even though
I laughed a lot. Yeah. After
that
Dark.
was real fun. After Dark.
Welcome to After Dark, by the way. This is a free sample of channel that we're going to be doing on Patreon. So if you enjoy After Dark, we'll be doing Enchantra, and we'll be launching our After Dark in August, our Patreon.
Yes.
So we're going to be doing smutty dark reads, dark romances, horror books on there. Yeah. And join us.
We'll keep our main book club books for our intellectual properties, and then for all the smutty things and the dark things, we go to After Dark to get other sorts of thrills and chills.
We like to laugh. We like to have a good time. So expect more roasting in After Dark.
Yes, for sure.
1-star book, 5-star time.
1-star book, 5-star time.
I love that.
I love it too.
I want it on a t-shirt with like a picture of one of the books, like The Mermaid's Kiss. 1-star book, 5-star time.
merch ideas. I feel like that's the best sentence I've ever come up with.
That's a pretty good one. Yeah. What are we reading next month, Tiffany?
We're God help us. We're reading Onyx Storm.
Oh my.
By Rebecca Yarros. The trepidation I feel. I have feelings.
Have you already started Onyx Storm?
I have not.
I
My copy
have.
just got in the mail. Just came in the mail yesterday or the day before. So, and I literally finished Phantasma today. So, I've not started it.
Well, I've started it and I can't wait to talk about it. Onyx Storm.
I mean, it's going to be Iron Flame all over again, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm going to reserve my comments for a later date, and that date is March 31st because it's our March selection. It's our March selection.
I'm down to be pleasantly surprised. I always, regardless of what I think I'll think, I always go into a book with an open mind. So we'll see. We'll see what that adventure turns into.
Yes, we will.
Either way, we'll have a lot to talk about.
Yeah. And it's going to be so nice being part of the conversation of the Imperium, because it's really hitting heavy right now.
Yeah, I'm scrolling past all of the spoilers. So read it with us, you guys, and then please, for the love of God, also email us your thoughts and feelings, because we always tell you guys to do that, and you guys really don't. But please
email us, damn it.
Email us, damn it. We want book club feedback.
We would love to be able to mention that other people's feelings about things too.
You have huge feelings about Onyx Storm. Are your feelings stormy? Email us so that we can read them aloud.
Are your feelings stormy in Onyx? Reach out to us. www.bookmatespodcast.com or email bookmatespcast@gmail.com because Bookmates Podcast was taken. All right, I love you.
I love you too. Good night.
Good night, Bookmates.
Good night,
See you next time.
Yeah. Good night, Bookmates. Thank you for joining us.
All right. We'll see you next month.
That was a lot of fun. Thank you for joining us. We love you. Join us next time. We'll see you at the next book club, Bookmates. Bye. Bye.